Chapter 1952. As expected, a map came into view, but the next moment, Lin Yi's face turned into an expression of extreme shock. This map! Lin Yi exclaimed subconsciously. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with this map? Sun Jingyi asked curiously. This map, didn't you notice? It's only half of the map, not the whole. Lin Yi pointed at the edge of the map and said to Sun Jingyi. Hey! As expected, this map is half. Sun Jingyi looked at where Lin Yi was pointing and saw that the edge of the map wasn't finished, as if it had been cut neatly. But what shocked Lin Yi wasn't that it was half of the map, but that Lin Yi had the other half of the map in his hand. After the test, Lin Yi and Zhao Chikuan met a crazy weirdo in a cave, and he was the one who gave Lin Yi the map. The same material, the same drawing style, the same color. Lin Yi was completely sure that the half of the map in his hands was originally a whole map, and then it was cut in the middle. Lin Yi, why is your face so weird? Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi and asked curiously. It's not that my face is weird, but... Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly, hesitating. After all, the map wasn't his, it could be said that the weirdo had left it in his hands. But now, he was sure that the weirdo had some sort of connection with Sun Jingyi's parents. Could it be that Sun Jingyi's parents were the weirdo's disciples? Otherwise, why would Sun Jingyi have that half of the map? And the weirdo had said that the other half of the map was in the hands of his disciple. So, since this thing was related to Sun Jingyi, Lin Yi didn't hide it anymore and said, because, in my hands, there's another half of the map. Ah! Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi in surprise. She didn't expect that Lin Yi was surprised because Lin Yi had the other half of the map in his hands. This answer left her at a loss. Lin Yi had the map. Where did his map come from? He knew my parents. I will explain this to you slowly. The map is not with me. It is in Donghu's villa. Lin Yi said, I will find it for you after I go back. Okay. Sun Jingyi felt that it was a little unbelievable. She had just found half of the map in the jade pendant, and the other half appeared in Lin Yi's hands. Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? However, when he thought about it, he was quite lucky. If this map was in the hands of someone else, it would be impossible for them to return it to him so easily. However, Lin Yi didn't seem to have any intention of keeping it for himself. Okay, it's all collected. Liu Weishan smiled and handed a self-sealing bag to Lin Yi and said, I will pay attention to the other pure topaz broken jade for you. As for this map, I won't participate. Thank you, Elder Liu. Lin Yi quickly took the self-sealing bag. He said with surprise and joy. Well, it's getting late. You should go back early. I think you have more important things to do. Liu Weishan said, I won't keep you. When I find the broken jade, I will contact you again. Okay, Elder Liu, then we will leave. Lin Yi nodded and left Elder Liu's residence with Sun Jingyi. It could be seen that Sun Jingyi seemed to have a lot of words to say to him, so Lin Yi didn't do too much. After going downstairs and leaving the family area and getting in the car, Sun Jingyi couldn't wait to ask, Lin Yi, tell me, how did you get this half of the map? Do you know my parents? How can I know them? Lin Yi said with some helplessness, if I knew them, why wouldn't I tell you? This map of mine is actually not mine. It was given to me by someone else. Someone else? Sun Jingyi said, who is that? It's a strange man like an old madman. As Lin Yi said this, he told Sun Jingyi about the scene of encountering the strange man in the cave after returning from the Ice Palace trial. Then, he said, at that time, the strange man regarded me as his apprentice and gave me this map. Then, he asked me for the other half of the map and took me on a treasure hunt. You know, I didn't want to keep this thing for myself. I wanted to find a chance to return it to him, but he ran away in the middle of the night. So, the apprentice of the strange man may be my father. Sun Jingyi suddenly thought of the origin of the map on her body. It's possible, but even if it's not, it's still a big deal. Lin Yi said, but now, since you also have half of the map, I will give this map to you. Don't you want to know what treasure is in this map? Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi with some surprise. She didn't know why Lin Yi gave it to her so easily. Whatever treasure there is, it belongs to your father and the strange man. Since this jade pendant is with you, it's yours now. Lin Yi said with a smile, if it was someone else, I might really snatch it, but you are my lover. Of course, I won't snatch it from you. Okay, thank you. Sun Jingyi said sincerely, actually, I don't really want that treasure. I just want to find some clues about my parents. I really don't like the current Sun family. They are too utilitarian. Everything they do is for the family's benefit. Since the strange man is a heaven stage master, then the treasure he said is definitely not bad. After you find it, it may be good for you. Lin Yi said, it's just that I don't know where this map is. It should be a map near a certain mountain range, but it is not marked on it. If you want to find it, it's best to compare the situation on this map with the maps of other mountains. It could be seen that Sun Jingyi couldn't wait to find the place on the map. But Lin Yi understood how she was feeling. If it were him in her shoes, he'd be rushing to look for clues as well when he suddenly received news of his parents' whereabouts. All the way back to Donghe, Lin Yi parked the car at the door of the villa and asked, Jingyi, do you want to go in and sit down? I won't go. Sun Jingyi hesitated and said, it's already past 1 o'clock in the evening. It's too late. You give me the map. I will find a hotel to stay in. Tomorrow, I will rent a house in Donghe and study this map. Chapter 1953. Date. October 20th. That's good. Lin Yi nodded. At this time, the miss and Shu should be asleep. It wasn't convenient to disturb them, so he said, then wait for me. Lin Yi got off the car and entered the mansion. As expected, the miss and Shu were asleep, but Forbert and Grandma Sun hadn't rested yet. The two of them were sitting on the sofa and chatting. Forbert seemed to be telling Grandma Sun stories from when they were young. Little Yi, you're back. Forbert saw Lin Yi come in and was surprised. Lin Yi went to help Grandma Sun ask about the Sun family's mental cultivation. Forbert was naturally happy to see him back. Although Forbert didn't think that Lin Yi would come back on the same day, he still waited for Lin Yi with Grandma Sun until it was very late. Moreover, they were also talking about things from when they were young. As they chatted, they lost track of time. In the blink of an eye, it was already 1 o'clock. Forbert, you guys haven't slept yet? Lin Yi was a little surprised. Not yet. How is it, little Yi, about Luo Yin? Although Forbert felt that it wasn't good for Lin Yi to ask him about these things when he just got home, he still asked because he was worried about Grandma Sunday. It's done, but there's something I need to do now. Wait for me for a while, we'll talk when I come back. Lin Yi smiled. Okay. When Forbert heard that there was news, he was immediately excited and nodded repeatedly. Grandma Sun's eyes also flashed a trace of anticipation. Before, Forbert told her so many things from the past, but she couldn't remember anything. This feeling was very uncomfortable. If Lin Yi could help her recover her memory, it would be really great. Lin Yi returned to the room and found the half of the map from the cabinet in the room. Then, he quickly left the mansion and went to the car. He said to Sun Jingyi, this is it. Take a look and see if it's one of them. Sun Jingyi excitedly took the half of the map that Lin Yi handed over and put it together with the half in her hand. The result was exactly the same as before. It really is a... Jingyi's breathing quickened as she looked at the map in her hands. Perhaps this map would be able to help them. He would be able to find clues about his parents. Let me send you to the hotel. You can study it slowly when the time comes, Lin Yi said with a smile as he looked at Sun Jingyi, who was engrossed in the map. I'm sorry, I was a little anxious. Sun Jingyi quickly said. It's nothing, if it were me. It will be the same. Lin Yi shook his head and started the car. There was a 3-star hotel nearby called Shueshong Hotel. It was developed by the same developer as Shueshong District, and the environment was not bad. The price was not expensive. Of course, this hotel was targeted at young couples. If the price was too expensive, ordinary people would not be able to afford it. After sending Sun Jingyi to the hotel, when Sun Jingyi got off the car, she was a little hesitant. She seemed to have something to say. What's wrong? Lin Yi asked curiously. Lin Yi, if I find the location of this map, can you accompany me? Can you come with me for a bit? Jingyi knew that this request was a little too much, but she couldn't help but think about it. Lin Yi was the only one who could go with her. Looking at Sun Jingyi's expectant eyes, Lin Yi hesitated and said, "Well, if I have nothing to do, I will accompany you. Actually, I also want to know what the treasure that the weird man said is." Great. When Sun Jingyi heard Lin Yi agree, she was a little excited. "If that treasure is useless to me, I will give it to you." "Oh, that's not necessary. I don't want any reward for accompanying you. I just regard you as my friend," said Lin Yi. "Just a friend?" Sun Jingyi squinted her eyes. "Lovers should have some substantial progress, right?" Lin Yi also looked at Sun Jingyi with a smile. Bow! When Lin Yi was unprepared, Sun Jingyi quickly kissed the side of Lin Yi's face. Then her face was obviously red, but she thought that Lin Yi wouldn't see it because the sky was dark. She pretended to be calm and said, "Is it okay now?" Lin Yi didn't guard against Sun Jingyi, so she succeeded in a sneak attack. He touched the cheek that was kissed, and he suddenly felt a little dumbfounded. Is this playing with fire? It was just a joke. Now, the relationship between the two people seems to be even more unclear than before. However, Lin Yi often joked with Sun Jingyi. At this time, after being kissed, Lin Yi also let it go. "Isn't this too little? Why don't I stay here tonight?" "Go to hell." Sun Jingyi was joking with Lin Yi. At this time, when she heard that Lin Yi was actually asking for a foot after taking an inch, her heart suddenly tightened. "I am not ready yet, and he is already getting a room." So Sun Jingyi subconsciously retorted and was about to get out of the car. However, when she looked up and saw Lin Yi's evil and mischievous smile, Sun Jingyi knew that she was fooled. She snorted and said, "Then you can come up." "You really want me to go up?" Lin Yi asked with a smile. "Let's go. I'm going to study the map." Sun Jingyi found that in front of Lin Yi, it seemed that she had never taken advantage of him. It seemed that she had taken advantage of him every time, but in fact, Lin Yi didn't take her seriously at all. Seeing that Sun Jingyi entered the hotel safely, Lin Yi turned around and left, returning to the villa. After returning, Lin Yi found that not only did Forbert and Grandma Sun not sleep, but they were even more energetic, obviously waiting for Lin Yi to come back. "Little Yi, you're back." Forbert saw that Lin Yi came back and quickly stood up, giving up the seat next to Grandma Sun. Seeing Forbert's nervous look, Lin Yi didn't know what to say, but he also understood Forbert's mood, smiled and said, "Forbert, don't worry. Let me see your Negong first." "Mine?" Forbert was slightly stunned. "Yes, it's yours." Lin Yi said, "In fact, it was a wasted trip. After I went there, I remembered the characteristics of the Sun family's Negong. Grandma Sun was your wife, she naturally assisted you in your practice, so her true chi is the same as yours. I just need to check if your true chi is the same as the true chi in Grandma Sun's head." "That's right." Forbert slapped the back of his head and showed a look of realization. "I'm really sorry, I forgot about this. If I knew this earlier, I wouldn't have let you go back. It's not really a lot of trouble, there are some other gains." Lin Yi didn't regret looking for Sun Jingyi. Not only did he help Sun Jingyi find the map, but he also got the pure topaz. To be continued. Vote recommendation, monthly vote, etc. Chapter 1954. Date. October 20th. How was this a little gain? It could be said that it was a great gain. Of course, there were some secrets that even Forbert and Lin Yi couldn't say. About the jade space, Lin Yi couldn't reveal it to anyone yet. It wasn't that Lin Yi didn't trust them, but it was because Lin Yi's strength hadn't reached that level yet. If Lin Yi was a peak late-stage heaven-class master now, he wouldn't have hidden it from Forbert. "Then hurry up and check." Forbert quickly reached out his hand and said, "Okay." Seeing Forbert's anxious look, Lin Yi didn't say anything more and directly checked Forbert's chi. After a while, Lin Yi's face showed a satisfied look and said, "There's no mistake, it's the chi in Grandma Sun's head." Then, "Can I help her get rid of the true chi?" Expelling Chapter 1966, very dejected. Forbert was surprised and happy after hearing Lin Yi's words. He was most worried that the chi in Sun Luoyue's head was caused by an enemy. If there were any malicious tricks, it would be troublesome, but now it seemed that this was unnecessary. "There are two ways. One is for me to force Grandma Sun's chi out of her body. Although this method is feasible, I'm not very proficient in it yet. Lin Yi said honestly. The second level of the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi could only describe it as relatively smooth, but he was still far from being proficient in it. Lin Yi also needed a lot of effort to force out his own fire qi. Now that he was using it on Grandma Sun, Lin Yi really didn't have much confidence. What about the second method? Forbert quickly asked. The second method is more certain, there won't be any danger, but the effect may be slower, it's not something that can be done overnight. Lin Yi said, that is to let Grandma Sun recultivate the Sun family's internal energy cultivation method. Once Grandma Sun successfully cultivates it, she will be able to dissolve the internal energy on her own. Chem. Chapter 1966. Very depressing. Then let's go with the second option, Li Fu said after some hesitation, choosing the second option without hesitation. After all, this method would definitely not be dangerous. Although it was a little slow, Forbert had waited for so many years. A little more time would not make a difference. If the first method went wrong, it would be too late for regrets. Actually, I also suggest using the second method. Lin Yi said, I've already got the Sun family's mental cultivation method. It's in my phone. I'll forward it to you later. But although this mental cultivation method was practiced by Grandma Sun before, it's best not to spread it. After all, I got it from Sun Jingyi. I understand. Forbert nodded and said, even if you don't say it, I won't casually say it. After all, this involves the enemies of the past. If they know that Luo Yin and I are not dead, they will definitely come to the door again. We are not opponents of those people. Lin Yi didn't say anything more. He sent the document sent by Sun Jingyi to Forbert and then went back to the room to rest. Back in the room, Lin Yi couldn't wait to open the jade pendant condensation method. This was the version that Lin Yi had copied. The original version was left in the West Star Mountain village. Now, there was pure topaz, but there was no news of color steel and blue crystal powder. Before, Lin Yi didn't study this condensation method carefully, but now that the pure topaz was in his hands, Lin Yi was naturally a little excited. He began to carefully study the condensation method of the jade pendant. However, what made Lin Yi puzzled was that this condensation method didn't specify how much pure topaz, blue crystal powder, and color steel was needed. Without the quantity, how could Lin Yi collect the materials? Thinking of this, Lin Yi couldn't help but wonder, Jiao Lao, how many materials do you need to condense this jade pendant? As much as you have. Jiao Lao said faintly. As much as you have? What do you mean? Lin Yi didn't understand what Jiao Yazi meant. The more materials, the larger the condensed storage space. What's there to understand? Jiao Yazi explained faintly. If that's the case, then can it only be condensed once? Lin Yi asked. No, you can condense as many times as you want. Every time you collect the materials, you can continue condensing. Lin Yi said. So that's how it is. Lin Yi was enlightened. Doesn't that mean that the storage space of this jade pendant can be condensed into an infinite size? In theory, yes. Didn't you notice that the space inside the jade pendant is actually an infinite fourth-dimensional space? Jiao Yazi said matter-of-factly, it's just that at present, these spaces can only store all-purpose energy and can't store other items. That means that the condensation of the jade pendant space actually turns a part of the jade pendant space that can only store all-purpose energy into a storage space? Lin Yi asked. You can understand it that way, but the four-dimensional space in the jade pendant space is theoretically infinite, Jiao Yazi said. Lin Yi was speechless after listening to Jiao Yazi's explanation. Previously, Lin Yi thought that his jade pendant was an ancient product, but as he learned more about the functions of the jade pendant, why did he feel that it was more and more high-tech? Even the four-dimensional space appeared. Of course, Lin Yi was too lazy to ask Jiao Yazi about these things, because Jiao Yazi didn't know. He was just a phantom. To put it bluntly, he was like a computer. There was a limit to what he knew, so it was useless to ask. After putting away the pure yellow jade, Lin Yi continued practicing the art of dragon mastery. Before he gathered the other two materials, Lin Yi couldn't make the jade space, so he could only put it aside for now. The next morning, Lin Yi drove Mengyaro and Yushu to school, While Forbert stayed at home to train with Grandma Sunday, Lin Yi felt a gloomy atmosphere when he came to the dorm. Everyone seemed to be in low spirits, and Bai Weituo looked like he had lost a lot of money. "What's wrong with you guys? Was there a break-in yesterday?" Lin Yi looked at the three people in front of him, confused. "Lin bro, you're back?" Bai Weituo's eyes lit up when he saw Lin Yi, but then dimmed. As far as he was concerned, Lin Yi might be good at other things, but he wouldn't be of much help in the freshman party. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't be absent from the class rehearsals. It was obvious that he wasn't good at these things. "I'm back, what's wrong with you guys?" Lin Yi didn't know what was going on. "Geez, Lin bro, I'm really done for this time," Bai Weituo said with a sad face. "That Zhong Duopan kid, it's just as you said, he actually played dirty." Chapter 1955. Date. October 20th. What's wrong with him? Lin Yi frowned. For the freshman party, he actually invited a celebrity to be the lead singer. Although it's a celebrity who just debuted, he's quite famous in the country. With a celebrity as the host, I'm afraid the student council will have to give him some face no matter what and rank their performance. Bai Weituo said dejectedly, "A celebrity came to our school's freshman party. If we don't rank them, it'll be too disrespectful. So what if he's a celebrity? Even if he doesn't sing well, he can still get a rank." Lin Yi wasn't too interested in celebrities and said disapprovingly. Xu Shahan was nothing in front of him. In Lin Yi's eyes, she was just a pretty girl who could sing and dance. She wasn't even as attractive as Miss and Shu, let alone a celebrity who wasn't that famous. Let's not talk about the fact that Zhong Duopan's class is singing the celebrity's famous song. They already have an advantage. It's just the student council, they won't offend a celebrity over such a small matter. Bai Weituo had been in the school for a long time, so he knew the logic behind this. The student council sometimes organizes some charity events and invites some celebrities. They're all trying to get close to those celebrities, so why wouldn't they give them some face? Zhong Duopan must have a master guiding him from behind, that's why he came up with such a trick. Let's not talk about how my singing is just SOSO. Even if I sing well, I'm still no match for a celebrity. Oh, so you're saying that as long as it's a celebrity, they can get a rank? Lin Yi understood what Bai Weituo meant. Of course, it can't be too bad. Bai Weituo said, "Forget about those celebrities who are famous for disgusting people. Then why don't we invite a celebrity too?" Lin Yi said. "I say, brother, it's not that easy to invite a celebrity. Zhong Duopan is a rich second generation. His family has a lot of money, his dad is a big boss, and his social connections are great. It's not a big deal to find a celebrity, but we..." Bai Weituo shook his head. "We might not be able to invite one even with money." "Oh, leave it to me. I'll try." Lin Yi thought for a moment and asked, "If we invite a celebrity who is more famous than Zhong Duopan, will our ranking be higher?" "That's for sure. When the time comes, all the members of the student union will be in charge of voting and scoring. Although there is a celebrity effect, whoever is popular will have the highest number of vote." Bai Weituo said. "I understand." Lin Yi nodded. "Boss, are you really going to invite a celebrity?" Bai Weituo looked at Lin Yi in surprise. He didn't expect Lin Yi to invite him just like that. He had a matter-of-fact look on his face, as if it was easy to invite a celebrity. "Are you ready to give up on him, are you?" Lin Yi asked. "Of course not." Bai Weituo shook his head and replied without thinking. "That's it. If I don't invite you, you lose, right?" Lin Yi said. "Can you really invite him?" Bai Weituo looked at Lin Yi doubtfully. "I don't know. I'll make a call and ask." Lin Yi said. Bai Weituo heard Lin Yi say he'll make a call and was a bit discouraged. The celebrity Zhong Duopan invited is the coffee girl, Cheng Yi. Although she just became famous recently, I heard that she's Xu Shahan's junior martial sister. With Xu Shahan's help, I'm afraid he'll be able to overshadow her. It's a bit difficult. Plus, Hime Yue's idol is Xu Shahan. Naturally, she likes Cheng Yi as well. This time, Zhong Duopan is obviously trying to please Hime Yu. Sigh. Oh, a junior martial sister from the same sect. Then just invite Xu Shahan. She won't be able to say anything. Lin Yi heard Bai Weituo's words and let out a sigh of relief. If it was Xu Shahan's junior martial sister, it would be even more impossible to overshadow Xu Shahan. Ah! Invite Xu Shahan? Bai Weituo's eyes widened. Lin bro, you're not joking, right? Xu Shahan, she hasn't even held a concert in Donghe. How can she come to our school's freshman party? I don't know. Let's ask. Lin Yi took out his phone. He started rummaging through the phone book. Bai Weituo, Zhao Shengji, and Song Xiaodao looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. They couldn't understand. How did Lin Yi know Xu Shahan? Or did he know other friends who knew Xu Shahan? The call went through. Xu Shahan didn't pick up for a long time. The number you have dialed is currently unavailable. Lin Yi shook his head and hung up. Lin bro, how was it? Bai Weituo didn't have much hope, but he still couldn't help but ask. No one picked up. Lin Yi said. Bai Weituo didn't think that Lin Yi could find Xu Shahan. So he wasn't surprised when Lin Yi said no one picked up. If anyone could get through a superstar's phone, they wouldn't be a superstar. It's okay. If it really doesn't work, I'll give up. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Looking at Bai Weituo's face, Lin Yi shook his head. Forget it. I'll try again. Then, Lin Yi picked up his phone again. He was about to call again. However, Lin Yi's phone rang first. Looking at the caller ID, Lin Yi smiled and picked up. Lin Yi, you're looking for me? Xu Shahan's sweet voice came from the other side. I was busy just now. The phone is with Wang Sis. Wang Sis told me that you called me, so I called immediately. Oh, I was about to call you again. Lin Yi said faintly. Xu Shahan's enthusiasm was exchanged with a few indifferent words from Lin Yi. She was a superstar. What she said just now was to take credit from Lin Yi. If it was someone else, Xu Shahan wouldn't even bother to call back. But Lin Yi didn't seem to be flattered at all. But thinking about every time she went to his house, Lin Yi basically just greeted her and went back to his room. He didn't say anything. This made Xu Shahan feel that her charm had decreased every time she saw Lin Yi. What's the matter? Xu Shahan said helplessly. Do you have time recently? Come and help me. Lin Yi said. Help? Sure. Even if I don't have time, you can find me. Xu Shahan was very grateful to Lin Yi. It was him who cured her headache. It was also him who saw through Yarrow Wang's plot. Otherwise, if she really took Yarrow Wang's medicine, the consequences would be unimaginable. Oh, there's a freshman party in our school. Come over and bring our classmates to perform. That's it. Lin Yi said. To be continued. Recommendation votes, monthly votes. Chapter 1956. Date, October 20th freshman party. Performance. Xu Shahan was speechless. What did Lin Yi find for her? She was a top star in Asia, yet she was attending a freshman party. However, since Lin Yi invited her, she couldn't refuse. She said, I've rejected all the other people who asked me to hold a concert, but I promise you that I will attend the freshman party. Thank you, Lin Yi said. No need to thank me. Who told you to cure my headache? I should be the one thanking you, Xu Shahan said. When is it? Wait, let me ask, Lin Yi said and turned to Bai Weituo. When is the freshman party? The night after tomorrow, Bai Weituo said subconsciously. The night after tomorrow, Lin Yi said to Xu Shahan. Where are you? Songshan? Xu Shahan remembered the time and asked. No, I'm at Donghai Industry University, Lin Yi said. I understand. I'll go there tomorrow. Can you pick me up at the airport? Xu Shahan asked. Okay, I'll pick you up. Lin Yi didn't mind being a chauffeur since he needed someone to do something for him. Xu Shahan was attending the event on her own, so the organizer wouldn't prepare a car. Then I'll see you tomorrow, Xu Shahan said. However, as soon as Xu Shahan finished speaking, Wang Sis' voice came from the other side. Han, didn't we agree to shoot the cover of the new album tomorrow? Oh, I'll do it in a few days. Xu Shahan said carelessly. What's up? Lin Yi asked. Nothing, I dropped it, Xu Shahan said. Then I'm really flattered. You have quite a lot of face, Lin Yi joked. You finally know how big your face is. I thought you didn't know. Shu Shahan snorted and hung up the phone. Lin Yi shook his head helplessly, but when he raised his head, he saw the three guys in the dormitory looking at him in disbelief. Big brother Lin, you really know Shu Shahan? Bai Weituo asked in disbelief. Yes, she agreed. Lin Yi nodded. It can't be. Bai Weituo pinched his face hard. Am I dreaming? Big brother Lin, you're too awesome. It feels so good to turn defeat into victory. Bai Weituo didn't doubt the authenticity of Lin Yi's call at all, because in his eyes, there was no need for Lin Yi to lie to him. Calling Shu Shahan meant calling Shu Shahan. But Bai Weituo was a little surprised. Lin Yi even knew Shu Shahan, and he seemed to be quite familiar with her. Hehe, shouldn't we go to class? Lin Yi said, it's no problem for me to ask for leave, but if you don't go to class, I'm afraid Boss Bai won't let you go easily, right? Damn, class? Bai Weituo looked at his watch and quickly put on his coat and ran out of the dorm. When he came to the classroom, Lin Yi saw Han Jingjing sitting next to Wang Xinyan. She was whispering something to Xinyan, which made Lin Yi frown. He'd gotten used to sitting at the same table with Xinyan these past couple of days, and Han Jingjing was taking his seat. He wasn't used to it. However, when Han Jingjing saw Lin Yi, she stood up and sat behind him, giving the seat to Lin Yi. This made Lin Yi a little surprised. Seeing Han Jingjing's action, Wang Xinyan blushed. This was too obvious. Anyone could see that her relationship with Lin Yi wasn't normal. Otherwise, in a class, there would only be two girls together. Lin Yi didn't care so much and directly sat next to Wang Xinyan. You've recovered from your cold? Yen, it's much better. Wang Xinyan thought of the ambiguous scene in the car yesterday, and her face became even redder. Big brother Lin Yi, didn't you ask for leave today? Why are you here again? If I knew you would come to school today, I would have hitchhiked with you. Han Jingjing sat behind Lin Yi and said to Lin Yi. How did she know he asked for leave? But thinking of yesterday, he told Bai Weituo that he might not come today and asked him to ask for leave on his behalf. It should be from Bai Weituo yesterday, or Wang Xinyan told her yesterday afternoon. Don't you have your own car? Lin Yi asked back, didn't you already know the classroom? Why do you still hitchhiked? Aren't we saving energy and reducing emissions now? People don't drive, sitting in your car can protect the environment. Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly. It's more environmentally friendly to walk. Lin Yi said with some speechlessness. There's a hitchhiker, why do I walk? Isn't that stupid? Han Jingjing asked with a surprised face. Lin Yi was speechless about Han Jingjing's IQ. This girl wouldn't have 100,000 whys, right? She was always saying why and whys, but it seemed like she was very reasonable, so Lin Yi didn't know how to answer. If I buy a car and let you hitchhiked, isn't that stupid? Why? You don't have to spend a penny more for gas. It's on the way anyway. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi strangely. But why should I give you a ride? According to what you said, can I live in your villa? Lin Yi had a headache because of Han Jingjing's thinking. Because we are neighbors and classmates. Do you want to live in my villa? Okay, I'll help you clean up a room at night. It just so happens that my brother and I are scared. Han Jingjing said. Okay, you can continue to hitchhiker, forget about cleaning up the room. Lin Yi was defeated. This girl's thinking was too weird. Lin Yi felt that if he continued to argue with her, it would only become more and more troublesome. He might even become crazy. Wang Xinyan saw Lin Yi being defeated and couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. This Han Jingjing was really interesting, and the questions she asked were so cute. Han Jingjing's mouth flashed a trace of a successful smile, and Lin Yi didn't say anything because Boss Bai had arrived. Just as Boss Bai said, most of the courses in the medical profession were taught by him part-time. Lin Yi's medical skills, under the training of old Lin since he was young, was already at the top level, but unexpectedly, some of Boss Bai's theories gave Lin Yi a refreshing feeling. It was clearly some of the most basic pharmacology knowledge, but it gave Lin Yi a lot of inspiration. Lin Yi glanced at Tiger Right, noticing that the two followers beside him were doing nothing, while Tiger Right, on the other hand, was focused on Boss Bai's explanation. This discovery also proved that Boss Bai was extraordinary. To be continued. cast recommendation votes, monthly votes, etc. Chapter 1957. Date, October 20th. The hidden house. You could be said to be a medical family, and the fact that the children of the house you could listen to Boss Bai's class so attentively, especially someone as arrogant as Yu Panhu. This made Lin Yi feel that Boss Bai was not a normal person. In a small town near Donghe, in a luxurious manner, two brothers were sitting in front of a computer in the study, replaying the video footage over and over again. These two brothers were the two Ferrari drivers that Lin Yi met on his way to Songjiang. Brother, is there still no news? It's taking so long to find out who the license plate belongs to. Uncle Han Ju's information network isn't too good. The one who spoke was the younger brother in the Ferrari, Han Xiaoling, and the one driving the Ferrari was the older brother, Han Xiaopa. Uncle Han Ju has always been in charge of our hidden house of Han's information network, but there's still no news. It's not that his network isn't good, it's that the owner of the car isn't a normal person. Han Xiaopa was one of the successors of the hidden house of Han, so he had a clearer view of things. He immediately noticed the problem. Brother, then if the owner isn't a normal person, will he still help us participate in the race? Han Xiaoling asked. I don't know, but we need to see which power he belongs to first. If he isn't from a hidden house, then as long as we bring out enough benefits and sincerity, there shouldn't be a problem. Han Xiaopa said. Oh. Han Xiaoling was Han Xiaopa's biological brother, so he was very close to Han Xiaopa in the hidden house of Han. The hidden house of Han was a hidden house that kept a very low profile. The hidden house of Han started out 10 years ago, and the head of the house of Han was originally a lone practitioner, and his strength was only at the early phase of the mystic class. However, 15 years ago, the head of the house of Han found an ancient ruin and obtained a golden pill. After swallowing it, his strength soared from the early phase of the mystic class all the way to the early phase of the earth class. Along with the treasures from the ancient ruin, the old man of the house of Han, a lone practitioner, successfully became a member of the hidden house. However, the hidden house Han's foundation was still too shallow. Other than old man Han, who was an earth class early phase master, the second generation of the family was at most mystic class, and the third generation was pitifully golden class. If it wasn't for the fact that they had obtained the treasures from the ancient ruins and that the Han family had come at a good time, they wouldn't have been able to survive. The Hidden House Arbitration Association had just been established, and this series of events had allowed the Han family to become a member of the Hidden House by chance. However, Old Man Han understood that his family's foundation was too shallow. If an old hidden family obtained the treasures from the ancient ruins, then not only would they not have to worry, they might even become an ancient family, because even if they didn't have a heaven-class expert, they would still have a peak late-phase Earth-class expert overseeing them. According to the agreement between the ancient sects and ancient families, heaven-class experts couldn't casually make a move. Therefore, Earth-class late-phase peak could basically sit back and relax. But the Han family was different. A man's wealth was his own ruin. The Han family had been developing in a low profile these past few years. The Ice Palace trials, the Hidden House Arbitration Association's Elder Council, those were things they wouldn't participate in. The only thing they wanted to do was rest and slowly increase the family's strength. Once the family had a peak late-phase Earth-class expert, or even a heaven-class expert, that would be the day the Han family would soar. Of course, with the restrictions of the Hidden House Arbitration Association, the other houses hadn't done anything to the Han family. But recently, Old Man Han had heard some bad news. The Grand Elder of the Hidden House Arbitration Association had disappeared. The other hidden houses had started to stir as well. Although they didn't have any intentions of making a move against the Hidden House Han, they had made some strange suggestions and request. That was, to hold a few competitions during the Hidden House Summit. The events of the competition were also different. There were martial arts competitions, art competitions, endurance competitions, strength competitions, and even racing competitions. In every round of the competition, every hidden house would take out a treasure as a wager. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell that this competition was aimed at the weak house of Han. This was because the hidden house of Han was too weak. They were so weak that they couldn't even win a single battle. However, These battles covered a wide range of areas and seemed to be fair. So even if the hidden house of Han knew that the hidden houses couldn't sit still anymore and wanted to covet the hidden house of Han's treasures, they couldn't refuse. Refusing to participate in the Hidden House Summit was the same as giving up their right to be a hidden house. Without the protection of the Hidden House title, even the Hidden House Arbitration Association wouldn't care about the life and death of the hidden house. At that time, the hidden houses would definitely make a move on the hidden house Han, but this was a dead end. They knew that there would be losses, and they would definitely have to take out some treasures. But under these circumstances, the hidden house Han could only pinch their noses and accept it. Who asked them to be weak? When he saw Lin Yi's driving skills by chance, Han Xiaope had the mentality of trying to save a dead horse. If they could win one race, even if it was just one, it would be a victory for the house Han. It was better than losing all the competitions. Even if the house Han had to pay a certain price, it didn't matter. After all, this was related to the hidden house Han's reputation. As he spoke, Han Xiaope's phone rang. Seeing the familiar name, Han Xiaope relaxed a little. Finally, there was news. Ninth uncle. Han Xiaope answered the phone respectfully. Ninth uncle Han wasn't a direct relative of the Han family, but he was one of his grandfather's followers. The ancient ruins were discovered by him and his grandfather. However, ninth uncle Han was about the same age as Han Xiaope's father, so he was considered an uncle. Master Po, we've investigated the ownership of the car, but we can't get the owner's information, ninth uncle Han said. What? No information on the owner? Han Xiaope was slightly taken aback. The car belongs to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Our information channels aren't strong enough to find a secret of this level. If we ask for help, we might not be able to find someone who knows the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Even if they do, we might not be able to find them, ninth uncle Han said. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau. No wonder. I heard that there are many capable people there. Han Xiaope suddenly understood. Although the practitioners of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau weren't as powerful as the hidden houses, they were far superior in other aspects. This was because they had many all-round talents. Not to mention his superb driving skills, it was easy for him to do stunts with an airplane. Aji. Chapter 1958. However, according to the information we received from our people, we found that the car was heading towards East Ocean City from the surveillance cameras of several nearby highways. Book C Pavilion Ninth Uncle said, according to our informants in East Ocean City, the car is currently parked at East Ocean Industry University. Ninth Uncle, you really scared me to death. I thought we wouldn't be able to find anything. I didn't expect you to have already found out. Han Xiaope was very happy when he heard ninth uncle Han's words. Young Master Po, what I said earlier was just to point out this person's background. Ninth uncle Han's voice was still calm. Han Xiaope was stunned for a moment, but he immediately understood what ninth uncle Han meant. If ninth uncle Han didn't say it in such detail and directly told him where the person was, Han Xiaope would have gone to look for him. If he had been the slightest bit negligent, the negotiation would have definitely failed. Thinking of this, Han Xiaope couldn't help but feel grateful. According to the school's security registration, the car owner is a student at East Ocean Industry University. The rest is still under investigation. Ninth uncle Han paused for a moment. It seemed that he also thought it was strange that a student from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau would be a student. A student? Han Xiaope was stunned. How could a student be from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? I'm not sure yet, but I have reported this to the head of the family. Perhaps the head of the family will call for a family meeting soon. Young Master Po, please be prepared. Book C Pavilion Ninth Uncle Han said. Thank you so much, Ninth Uncle. Han Xiaope couldn't help but feel touched after hearing Ninth Uncle Han's words. The family meeting was a good opportunity to show one's face in public. As long as one made reasonable suggestions during the family meeting, one would be valued by his grandfather. Although the heir to the head of the family hadn't been appointed yet, Ninth Uncle Han obviously thought highly of Han Xiaope. In Han Xiaope's generation, the only one who could compete with him was his second uncle's son, Han Xiaochun. However, Although Han Xiaochun was capable, he was narrow-minded and always went against Han Xiaope. Ninth uncle Han didn't like his personality. As expected, half an hour later, Han Xiaope received a notice from the family members that a family meeting would be held in the assembly hall. In Han Xiaope's generation, only he and Han Xiaochun had the right to participate in the family meeting. Both of them were being groomed as successors to the family. Han Xiaope quickly arrived at the conference room, but Han Xiaochun arrived first. Old Master Han, the second-generation members of the Han family, and ninth uncle Han were all present. Han Xiaope was the last to arrive. It seemed that the disciple who had called for the meeting was probably someone from Han Xiaochun's side, and had deliberately made Han Xiaope look bad. "I'm sorry, Grandpa. I'm late." Han Xiaope looked at the people in the conference room and apologized. "All right, sit down." Grandfather Han wasn't an idiot. He knew that Han Xiaope wouldn't be late on purpose. He knew what was going on, but he couldn't be bothered to point it out. "Yes, Grandpa." Han Xiaope nodded and sat on his seat. Han Xiaochun's eyes flashed with disappointment. Han Xiaope's lateness didn't incur his grandpa's wrath. This made Han Xiaochun's efforts a little wasted. "Xiaope, I heard from your ninth uncle Han that you found a racer with superb driving skills. You want him to represent the Hidden Han family in the upcoming Hidden Family Summit. Is that true?" Grandfather Han waited for Han Xiaope to sit down and then asked. "Yes, Grandpa." Han Xiaope nodded and told him about the Jeep Cherokee he saw on the highway. He then added, "Grandpa, I think that if it's possible, we should invite this person to represent us in the race no matter what. Otherwise, I'm afraid our Hidden Han family won't be able to win in the end. This concerns our Hidden Han family's reputation, not bad." Old Man Han nodded in praise. Little Po didn't go out for nothing this time, always thinking about the family's interests. That's what everyone in the Hidden Han family should learn. Our Hidden Han family originally didn't have any hope in this Hidden Family Summit, but if Little Po can invite this person, then we'll be able to save some face for our Han family. We won't lose so miserably. Old Nine, have you investigated this person's background? Tell us, and we'll see how we can invite him. Yes. Ninth Uncle Han nodded and told everyone the results of his investigation. Xiaope, what do you think? You were the one who suggested this idea. What do you think we should pay to invite this person to race for us? Grandfather Han looked at Han Xiaope and asked. Grandpa, since this person is from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, then I don't think he'll be interested in ordinary benefits. I think that as long as we can invite this person, even if we have to give him all the treasures after winning, it'll be worth it. Han Xiaope said. Big brother, are you stupid? Treasures after winning? That's not just our Han family's treasures. Every participating family will put up a treasure as a bet. When the time comes, he'll get the treasures of all the families. Don't you think that's a bit too generous? Han Xiaochun didn't wait for Han Xiaope to finish and retorted coldly, or are you colluding with outsiders to embezzle the Han family's benefits? I embezzle the Han family's benefits? Han Xiaope looked at Han Xiaochun with a smile that wasn't a smile. You know, if we don't invite him, we'll definitely lose the race. With our family's resources, it's not even enough for him to look at. He's just a student. Even if he's related to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, we, the Hidden Han family, are asking him for help because we think highly of him. When the time comes, we'll just give them any of our family's treasures. Won't he obediently help? Han Xiaochun snorted coldly and said, although our Hidden Han family isn't one of the top families among the hidden families, if we say something, even the Supernatural Investigation Bureau will have to give us face. Xiaochun is right about this. If we give him all the treasures, then our Han family will really be at a loss. Giving him one treasure is already very impressive. Grandfather Han nodded, agreeing with Han Xiaochun. Grandpa, if he doesn't show his sincerity, I can't promise to invite him. Han Xiaope sighed. He didn't know why, but Han Xiaope just felt that the person driving the Jeep Cherokee wasn't someone who was easy to talk to. He wasn't someone who could be invited easily. Big brother, if you think your ability is limited, then leave this to me. I'll invite him, and I guarantee it'll be done. Han Xiaochun patted his chest and promised. Chapter 1959. Oh. Grandfather Han turned to look at Han Xiaochun and asked. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. Han Xiaochun laughed coldly. When the time comes, we'll bring a mystic late phase peak master. That'll scare him to death. Even if we don't give him any benefits, he'll still come and help. Threats and promises are fine, carrot and stick. Since Xiaochun said so, then we'll leave this to him, Grandpa Han said faintly. Han Xiaopa opened his mouth but gave up in the end. No matter how he looked at it, he didn't think that the other party was that simple. Since Han Xiaochun had a way, then let him do it. He wouldn't get involved. Yes. Grandpa, don't worry, I'll do it well. Han Xiaochun turned to look at Ninth Uncle Han and asked, Ninth Uncle, did you find out the person's name? There's no news yet. Our family also has a branch family studying at Donghai Industry University. I've already asked them to find out who the owner of the Jeep Cherokee is. Ninth Uncle Han said. We should have news soon. As he spoke, Uncle Han Ju's phone rang. Uncle Han Ju picked up the phone and said a few words. Then, his expression changed and became extremely strange. After a while, Ninth Uncle Han said, Okay, I got it. You guys continue the investigation. Ninth, how is it? Is there news? Grandpa Han couldn't help but ask when he saw the strange expression on Ninth Uncle Han's face. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. Yes, Master, there's news. Ninth Uncle Han nodded and said, This student is called Lin Yi. He's a new medical student at Donghai Industry University. Oh, Lin Yi, a new student. I got it. Han Xiaochun nodded and said, I'll go find him in a bit. Young Master Chun, this person's name is Lin Yi. Ninth Uncle Han repeated the name and emphasized it. Lin Yi, Lin Yi. Ah, that Lin Yi. Han Xiaochun's heart skipped a beat. He thought of an existence that was taboo in the various hidden families. The hidden House Yu, and House Zhao wanted to cause trouble for him, but all of them returned empty-handed. Not only did they fail to do anything to Lin Yi, but all of their masters died. Could it be that this Lin Yi was that Lin Yi? Thinking up to here, Han Xiaochun's face changed, and he cried bitterly in his heart. Just now, he had sworn that he would threaten and bribe them, bringing a mystic class late phase peak master to threaten them. What a joke! One had to know that even an Earth class late phase master was killed by Lin Yi, let alone a peak mystic late phase master. Bringing a mystic late phase peak to cause trouble was asking for death. Young Master Chun, although I haven't found out if these two Lin Yis are the same person, whether it's House Yu, or House Zhao, they all kept quiet and didn't reveal too much information about Lin Yi, so I can't be sure yet. Ninth Uncle Han said with a normal face, but he was laughing coldly in his heart. Don't you love to be in the limelight? Why are you stunned now? This. Han Xiaochun thought of Lin Yi's lightning-fast killing methods, and his heart went cold. In the eyes of these hidden house disciples, Lin Yi was no different from a demon king. He was terrifying to the extreme. He was going to talk terms with Lin Yi, but if he didn't succeed and got killed right away, then he'd die for nothing. No one from the hidden house would dare to stand up for him. The hidden House Yu, House Zhao, and House Yu all suffered in silence, let alone the hidden House Han. Brother, you already know this person's information, when are you going to go look for him? Han Xiaopa was amused as well. Where was that arrogance from before? He was dumbfounded when he heard the name. This. Big brother, my abilities are limited, you should go. After all, you were the one who found this person, so it's more reasonable for you to go. Han Xiaochun didn't dare to go anymore. Unless he didn't want to live anymore, daring to talk terms with a violent maniac like Lin Yi, wasn't that looking for death? Old Han's face turned red and white as well. This was a slap in the face. However, he didn't have the slightest intention of getting angry. If this Lin Yi was the same Lin Yi, sending Han Xiaochun to look for him without knowing was the same as asking the hidden house Han to die. There was a hidden house arbitration association to mediate between the hidden houses, but when it came to the common world, Lin Yi didn't have much to say. If Lin Yi wanted to destroy the hidden house Han, then it wouldn't be a difficult task. When that time comes, thinking of this, old Han broke out in a cold sweat and said to Han Xiaopa, Xiaopa still has foresight. We didn't act impulsively, Or else if we really did as Xiaochun said, the consequences would be unthinkable. Xiaochun is still not mature enough. Han Xiaochun was very displeased. You clearly agreed with my suggestion just now, and even told me to go with the carrot and the stick, but now you're saying that I'm not mature enough. This made him very depressed. But he didn't dare to refute, because if he did, wouldn't he make his grandfather lose face? So he could only endure it helplessly. Yes, you're right, grandfather. Han Xiaochun said gloomily. Xiaopa, you should go talk to Lin Yi about this. No matter what, even if he wants more, we have to rope him in. As long as he can become a friend of our hidden house Han, hehe, the other hidden houses will have to think about their own strength if they want to touch us. Old Han was looking further ahead. Although he was snobbish, he was extremely cunning. Otherwise, the hidden house Han would still be in decline for so many years. Old Han still had some tricks up his sleeve. If it wasn't for the fact that he had told the children of the family to keep a low profile and not go out to cause trouble or earn money, those hidden families would have found an excuse to deal with the hidden house of Han. But old man Han would rather sit back and enjoy his wealth than be caught red-handed. That was where he was smart. So, he saw hope in Lin Yi. Although Lin Yi was a star of misfortune and had a grudge with many hidden houses, being close to Lin Yi would mean offending House Yu, House Zhao, and House Yu, but that wasn't the case. Even without the relationship with Lin Yi, these houses would still harbor evil intentions towards the hidden house Han. If they wanted to deal with the hidden house Han, then they might as well build a good relationship with Lin Yi. With Lin Yi blocking them, perhaps House Han would have more time to breathe. What old Han could see clearly, the other members of House Han could see clearly as well. They all nodded. Old Han was right. If they could get Lin Yi's support, at least in the short term, House Han wouldn't be in any danger. Plus, during the Hidden House Summit, Lin Yi might even be able to win other competitions, and that would give House Han even more face. Chapter 1960. Yes, Grandpa, as long as you say so. Han Xiaopa said, as long as we can offer enough benefits, then we don't have to be afraid that he won't come. After lunch, Lin Yi looked at the stranger in front of him and frowned slightly. Lin Yi was very sure that he didn't know the person in front of him, but the person in front of him was blocking his way, which made Lin Yi a little unhappy. What do you want? Lin Yi asked calmly. Excuse me. Are you Mr. Lin Yi? Although the person had blocked Lin Yi's way, his tone was very polite. Yes, what do you want? Lin Yi looked at the person in front of him again, but he still didn't know him. This humble one is Han Xiaopa of the Hidden Han family. Greetings, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa used the honorific of the martial arts world and cupped his fists. Hidden Han family? This was the first time Lin Yi had heard of this hidden family, but Lin Yi still stopped in his tracks. Since this person was from a hidden family, then he might as well see what he wanted. It's just a small family, it's normal that Senior Lin hasn't heard of it. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly, thinking that the hidden Han family really didn't have much of a reputation. Lin Yi probably hadn't heard of it before. Book C Pavilion Net. Oh, tell me why you're here. Lin Yi didn't care whether the person was from a small family or a large family, and asked directly. Senior Lin, I won't beat around the bush. I have something that I need your help with. Han Xiaopa said. Not interested, no time. Lin Yi hadn't even heard of the hidden Han family, so he naturally wasn't in the mood to deal with someone asking for his help. Senior Lin, please wait. Our Han family once obtained an ancient ruin with many treasures. If Senior Lin can help us, you can choose any treasure you like as a reward. Han Xiaopa knew that he couldn't play mind games with people like Lin Yi. He had to say whatever was on his mind to gain Lin Yi's favor. If he beat around the bush, perhaps Lin Yi wouldn't have the patience to waste time with him. Ancient ruins? Lin Yi stopped in his tracks and turned to look at Han Xiaopa, deep in thought. Lin Yi naturally knew what an ancient relic was. Legend had it that the ancient sects and ancient families had become the overlords of the martial arts world because they had found an ancient relic. The fact that the hidden Han family had also found an ancient relic surprised Lin Yi. Found an ancient relic, and a small clan at that. Unheard of even in the hidden aristocratic families. However, although Lin Yi didn't know the reason behind it, Han Xiaopa's conditions had indeed tempted Lin Yi. Among the materials in the ancient ruins, there might be pure topaz, colored steel, or blue crystal powder. Book C Pavilion, Net. That's right. Han Xiaopa nodded and said, I wonder if Senior Lin has the time to sit down and discuss in detail. All right, let's go to the cafeteria. I haven't had lunch yet. Lin Yi said. Senior Lin, this humble one has already booked a table at the Shueshong Business Hotel nearby. I hope Senior Lin can do me the honor. Han Xiaopa heard Lin Yi's agreement and immediately invited him with a smile. Oh, then let's go. Lin Yi nodded. Under the biology building, a Ferrari sports car was parked. Han Xiaopa respectfully invited Lin Yi into the car and drove to the Shueshong Business Hotel. The Shueshong Business Hotel was actually the Shueshong Hotel, it was just called by a different name. Arriving here, Lin Yi thought of Sun Jingyi, so he said to Han Xiaopa, wait, I'll call a friend to eat with us. All right, no problem. Han Xiaopa naturally wouldn't have the slightest doubt. The more casual Lin Yi behaved, the more likely it was to succeed. Lin Yi called Sun Jingyi. It just so happened that Sun Jingyi was also going to eat, so Lin Yi let Sun Jingyi go directly to the private room that Han Xiaopa had booked. Lin Yi, why did you think of eating here at noon? Sun Jingyi was a little surprised by Lin Yi's sudden visit, but when she saw that there was an outsider beside Lin Yi, she was a little puzzled. This must be Senior Lin's girlfriend. Hello, Senior. My name is Han Xiaopa. I'm from the Hidden Han family. Han Xiaopa said respectfully to Sun Jingyi. Ah, Hidden Han family? Lin Yi didn't know about the Hidden Han family, but as a member of an aristocratic family, Sun Jingyi was very clear about it. She also knew about the history of the Han family's rise to power. Even if the Hidden Han family was a relatively weak existence among the hidden aristocratic families, it was still a behemoth compared to the Sun family. But what Sun Jingyi didn't expect was that the Hidden Han family's disciple would call her senior. Could this be considered riding on Lin Yi's coattails? Yes, I am the eldest son and eldest grandson of the Hidden Han family. I represent the Hidden Han family, and I have some matters that I need Senior Lin's help with. Han Xiaopa explained respectfully. All right, serve the dishes first. I'm hungry. Let's talk while we eat. Lin Yi waved his hand impatiently and interrupted Han Xiaopa. Yes, Senior Lin. I'll ask the waiter to serve the dishes now. Han Xiaopa said as he turned around and left the private room, instructing the waiter to serve the dishes. At this time, Sun Jingyi was very surprised. She lowered her voice and said to Lin Yi, why did he call you senior? Why did he need your help? Who knows? Let's hear it later. Lin Yi said nonchalantly. Soon, Han Xiaopa returned and sat respectfully at the seat below. He poured tea for Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi. All right, before the dishes are served, tell me what you need, Lin Yi said. It's like this, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa quickly told Lin Yi about the Hidden House Summit, the competition, and how he saw Lin Yi's flying car on the highway. Hidden House Summit. This was Lin Yi's first time hearing about this. But thinking about it, if the aristocratic families had their own house summit, then it wasn't surprising that the hidden families had their own hidden house summit. From the sound of it, this was a conference to test the hidden family's abilities. In other words, if I win the car race for you, all the prizes will belong to me. Plus, I can choose any treasure from your Hidden Han family's treasure vault. Don't you think you're losing out? Yes. Han Xiaopa nodded. Of course, I hope this isn't just a trade, but the beginning of a friendship. I sincerely hope that our Hidden Han family can become Senior Lin's friend. So, it doesn't matter if we're losing out or not. If Han Xiaopa wanted to negotiate, he could have said that he would give the prizes to Lin Yi. If Lin Yi didn't agree, he could have increased the stakes. But Han Xiaopa wanted to gain Lin Yi's friendship. After he found out that the person driving the jeep was Lin Yi, he had this idea. Pure topaz, blue crystal, chromatic steel. What does your Hidden Han family have? Lin Yi asked. Chapter 1961. Pure topaz? Blue crystal? Colored steel? Han Xiaopa repeated Lin Yi's words and frowned. After a while, he said uncertainly, I think we do have colored steel. It's a material used to forge weapons. Our Han family found some in the ancient ruins. I think it's called colored steel, but I'm not sure. Senior Lin, is it that colorful steel? That's right. Your hidden Han family has something like that. Lin Yi's eyes brightened. He did not think that the most difficult material to find would be found in the hands of the hidden Han family. If it's something like that, then we have one in our treasure vault. However, the blacksmith who forged the weapon has long since disappeared, and the method of forging has also been lost. We don't have much use for this thing. Han Xiaopa said, if that's what you want, then I can give it to you right now. Whether or not you agree to help our hidden Han family in the tournament, I'll give it to you as a meeting gift. All right, I agree. Lin Yi nodded. You're not bad. I know what you're thinking, but it's a bit difficult for me to protect your Han family. My strength is limited. If the other hidden houses join forces to cause trouble for you, there's nothing I can do. Don't worry about that, Senior Lin. Hidden families have their own rules. Even if they want to deal with us, the hidden house of Han, they'll have to use this sort of competition to get our treasures. They wouldn't dare to openly rob us. Han Xiaopa said, so as long as Senior Lin represents our Han family, at least in the short term, these people won't have any designs on us. What we need is some breathing room, that's not a problem. Also, I might participate in the other competitions you mentioned. Do I get to keep the rewards? Lin Yi asked. Book C Pavilion Net. Of course. Han Xiaopa was overjoyed. If Lin Yi could win a few more rounds, it would be a great opportunity to show off the hidden Han family's power. It would also show the other hidden families how powerful Lin Yi was. Okay, then you can go. This is my phone number. Call me when the time is confirmed. Lin Yi said and gave Han Xiaopa his phone number. All right, Senior Lin, I'll send you the colored steel tomorrow. Han Xiaopa said after writing down Lin Yi's phone number. Don't worry, but help me find out more about pure topaz and blue crystal, Lin Yi said. I will remember it, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa said. The dishes were served, and Han Xiaopa was done with his business. He got up and left without eating. He was a smart man and went to pay the bill. He didn't want to disturb Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi's meal. He had achieved his goal. It didn't matter if he ate or not, as long as Lin Yi ate happily. Han Xiaopa and Lin Yi reached an agreement and built a good relationship. He returned to the hidden Han family to report. Sun Jingyi was the only one left in the room. She looked at Lin Yi in surprise. These hidden houses are so afraid of you now? I burned 3 of them to death last time. Maybe they have a phobia now. Lin Yi shrugged. He was thinking about other things in his mind. His current strength was only at the early phase of Earth class, and he needed to raise it to the next level as soon as possible. Although the Frenzy Fist was powerful, Lin Yi had only trained the first 3 styles. At most, he could fight a mid-phase Earth class master to a draw. If he met someone stronger, then he wouldn't be able to do it. So Lin Yi was eager to raise his strength to the next level. It would be best if he could train the 4th to 6th style of the Frenzy Fist. After seeing the power of the Frenzy Fist, Lin Yi was confident that he could fight a late-phase Earth-class master after training the 4th to 6th style. Of course, this was just a confidence. Before Lin Yi started training, everything was just a guess. He would only know after training. So that's how it is. Sun Jingyi nodded. Oh right, I did a comparison last night. That map seems to be the Wulong Heoti Mountains. But it was too late last night, so I didn't find the detailed map. I just woke up not long ago. I'm going to go online and look for a more detailed map later. Oh? You found it already? Lin Yi was a little surprised. Although Sun Jingyi made it sound easy, she must have been busy last night. It was just that Lin Yi was surprised that Sun Jingyi found the location on the map so quickly. Maybe it's my parents' secret. Of course I'm anxious. Sun Jingyi smiled embarrassedly. I understand. Let me know when you want to leave. I'll go with you. Lin Yi said. Thank you. Sun Jingyi said gratefully. But you may have to wait. At least, you have to wait until the hidden Han family's matter is over. Lin Yi thought about it and said. It doesn't matter. You can go whenever you want. Moreover, It's not necessarily the Wulong Haoti Mountains. I just think the terrain is similar. Sun Jingyi said, maybe I need to confirm it for a while. After lunch, Sun Jingyi returned to her room, and Linyi was ready to go back to school. After leaving the hotel, Linyi was about to stop a taxi, but he saw a middle-aged man walking quickly toward Linyi. Senior Lin, young Master Po asked me to wait here and send you back to school. The middle-aged man explained before Linyi could ask. Then let's go. Linyi nodded. He didn't expect Han Xiaopa to be so considerate. After he left, he still sent someone to pick him up to school. The middle-aged man drove an Audi A8. After respectfully asking Linyi to get in the car, he didn't say much. He directly sent Linyi back to school and left. Linyi returned to the dormitory, but he saw Bai Weituo still sitting at the desk with a sad face. Old Bai, what's wrong with you? Linyi looked at Bai Weituo strangely. Wasn't the matter solved? Why didn't this guy lead the class to rehearse? Instead, he was sighing in the dormitory. Big brother Lin, you're back? Bai Weituo saw Linyi, and his face suddenly showed some joy. Big brother Lin, I told the class about the big star Xu Shahan. Everyone was very excited after hearing it, but Right Coiling Tiger jumped out to cause trouble. He said that Xu Shahan had never held a concert in Donghai before, and that it was unheard of for her to participate in this kind of small event. So he said that I wanted to boost the class's morale, and that's why I made this up to compete with Zhong Duopan. And then, Linyi frowned, thinking that this coiling tiger on the right didn't know how to stop, always going against them. Chapter 1962. Tilda. Book C Pavilion Tilda Chapter 1974. She really was a superstar. After that, the students in the class got discouraged. They felt that no matter how much they practiced, they wouldn't be able to fight against that coffee girl Chengyi that Zhong Duopan invited, so they were too lazy to practice and came back with the attitude of just making up the numbers. Bai Weituo said bitterly. Linyi was speechless, so they didn't believe him. But it wasn't strange that they doubted him. If Linyi didn't call Xu Shahan in front of Bai Weituo wouldn't believe that he could invite Xu Shahan. Xu Shahan used to have headaches, so she rarely held concerts, let alone private events. Therefore, a lot of people probably didn't believe it at first, but after Right Coiling Tiger said this, no one believed it anymore. This Panhu Right really needs to be beaten up. If it weren't for the fact that Linyi wasn't weak, he would have beaten Panhu Right up a long time ago. But after offending House Yu, House Zhao, and an unknown master from House Kang, Linyi didn't want to mess with the hidden House Yu, especially since they were a medical family. Their power couldn't be underestimated. It's not his fault, he just raised a question. We're the class monitor, we can't let our classmates doubt us, right? Bai Weituo smiled bitterly. Even if Xu Shahan comes tomorrow, the party starts the day after tomorrow, and we only have half a day left to rehearse. It's not enough. I'll make another call. Linyi wanted to rush Xu Shahan to see if she could come today. Bai Weituo heard Linyi's words and was extremely grateful. He didn't think that Linyi would help him this much. Linyi called Xu Shahan again, but this time, it was Xu Shahan who picked up. Linyi, why are you calling me again? It's like this. Linyi told Xu Shahan about Bai Weituo's troubles and said, can you come earlier? It's best if you come tonight. I'm afraid I can't. Today's schedule is already full. Even tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, I had to squeeze out time for you. Do you think I'm free every day? Xu Shahan was annoyed by Linyi's words. Did this guy think that she was just waiting for him to summon her every day? What's the saying? Time is like, pretend I didn't say anything. Linyi wanted to make a joke, but then he remembered that he wasn't that close with Xu Shahan, so it was best not to make this kind of joke. Pervert. Xu Shahan heard Linyi's words and snorted. You misunderstood. What I meant was that time is like a sponge that is wet with water. If you squeeze it, water will always come out. Linyi said. How do you know I misunderstood? If you didn't get it wrong, how would you know I got it wrong? Xu Shahan retorted. Linyi realized that Xu Shahan was indeed a superstar. Her reflexes were extraordinarily fast. No wonder she could remain so calm in the face of so many media interviews. Okay, can you come? Linyi asked. This matter is actually very easy to solve. Do you have a computer over there? We can video chat, and then you can call your classmates over. I'll talk to them personally, Shu Shahan said. That's a good idea. Computer. Lin Yi's gaze landed on Bai Weituo's desk. This brat brought a laptop, so he said, I do. Then do you have my QQ number? Add me, and then I'll send you a video chat request. Shu Shahan said, my number is 1212. Okay. Lin Yi wrote down Shu Shahan's QQ number and hung up. He said to Bai Weituo, go call our classmates over. Then Shu Shahan will video chat with them. Ah, that's great. Bai Weituo was overjoyed. He ran out of the dorm to call his classmates. Lin Yi opened Bai Weituo's laptop and logged into his QQ number. Lin Yi rarely used his QQ. He applied for it after he came to Songshan. There were only a few people added on it. Kang, Miss, Little Shu, and so on. But Lin Yi didn't really use it, so he was still level 2. Lin Yi added Shu Shahan's number. After a while, the verification went through. Lin Yi had a new friend on QQ. It was called Beauty Han. This name made Lin Yi speechless. Wasn't she a bit too narcissistic? Lin Yi. Shu Shahan sent a message. She wasn't sure about Lin Yi's identity. Lin Yi's nickname was 01. He had more personality than Shu Shahan. Ian, it's me, Narcissist. Lin Yi replied. Narcissist? You're a narcissist? Shu Shahan was confused by Lin Yi's reply. You are. Lin Yi said, look at your QQ name. What narcissism, I'm a beauty. Shu Shahan said matter-of-factly, only blind people don't know how to appreciate beauty. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. It seemed like Shu Shahan hated him a lot. Hearing footsteps coming from outside the dorm, Lin Yi quickly replied, okay, she's here. After that, he quickly closed the chat window. Book Ocean Pavilion. He opened it again. The chat history was gone. Lin Yi didn't want others to know about his relationship with Shu Shahan. Okay, I'll request a video call. Shu Shahan replied and sent a video call request. Song Xiaodao and Zhao Shengji were in the other dorms. They saw Bai Weituo's worried face, so they went to the other dorms to pull some strings. Actually, it wasn't that the students in the class didn't want to help, but they didn't have the confidence. Who didn't want their major and their class to shock the world at the school's freshman party? This was a good chance to be famous. These 20 guys were all single. When the class became famous, it would be easier to find a girlfriend. It was just that Zhong Duopan invited a celebrity. So no matter how hard they tried, they weren't on the same level as him. Instead of working hard for half a day and still getting bullied, they might as well just deal with it. But when they heard that Shu Shahan was going to video call them, they got excited. Could it be that what Bai Weituo said before was true? He could really invite Shu Shahan? And so, these guys immediately swarmed to room 444, and at this time, Lin Yi accepted Shu Shahan's video call request. On the computer screen, Shu Shahan, who was wearing casual clothes and no makeup, appeared. Shu Shahan, it's really Shu Shahan. The first guy who rushed into the dorm saw Shu Shahan on the computer screen and screamed. Class leader didn't lie to us. This is the first time I've seen Shu Shahan without makeup. She's so beautiful and pure. Book C Pavilion, ~target =_ blank. Chapter 1963. Shu Shahan, hello, I'm your loyal fan, I'm Jiao Changqing. The boys couldn't wait to greet Shu Shahan. Hello everyone, I'm Shu Shahan. Shu Shahan saw that everyone was here, so she smiled and said, I'm in the recording studio right now. Today, I'm mixing for my new album, so I took a break from my busy schedule to meet everyone. This isn't a pre-recorded interview, right? Panhu, you couldn't understand why Bai Weituo was able to invite Shu Shahan. Back then, he invited Shu Shahan with the identity of the Yu family. Not only did he fail, but he also got rejected. This made Yu Panhu very upset. Lin Yi didn't let Bai Weituo say that he was the one who invited Shu Shahan, so Bai Weituo could only vaguely say that he was the one who invited Shu Shahan. This was also the reason why no one believed him. He was just a freshman, how could he know a superstar like Shu Shahan? Yeah, Bai Weituo, is this a pre-recorded interview? Someone heard Coiling Tiger Yu's question and started to suspect. Young Master Coiling Tiger Yu, hello, we meet again. Shu Shahan heard Coiling Tiger Yu's question and smiled faintly. Coiling Tiger Yu didn't expect Shu Shahan to know him and even talk to him. He felt awkward. Haha, I was just joking. In front of the class, Coiling Tiger Yu naturally didn't dare to say that he wanted to sleep with Shu Shahan. He laughed and changed the topic. But now, no one doubted that it was a video anymore, because the video didn't have any interaction, and it was impossible to talk to Coiling Tiger Yu. Shu Shahan, I like you so much. Shu Shahan, can I have your autograph? Shu Shahan, what are the songs in your new album? Can you tell us a bit? Shu Shahan, will you really come tomorrow? Will you bring us to the freshman party? When everyone knew that the Shu Shahan in front of them was really Shu Shahan, they couldn't be more excited. One question after another, Shu Shahan couldn't answer. Can everyone calm down for a moment? I understand everyone's feelings, but my time here is limited. It wasn't easy for me to ask my manager for a little leave just now to meet with everyone, so please listen to me, okay? Shu Shahan's voice came again, making the noisy dorm quiet again. Everyone shut their mouths when they heard that Shu Shahan was taking time out of her busy schedule to meet them. As you all know, I was asked by my friend to attend the freshman party with you. However, due to my schedule, I won't be able to arrive in East Ocean City until tomorrow afternoon at the earliest. Therefore, our time is very limited, Shu Shahan said. And if we want to get first place in the freshman party, just my popularity alone isn't enough. We need everyone's cooperation. Otherwise, even if I go on stage, we won't be able to get a high score if we don't work well together, right? Everyone nodded in agreement after hearing Shu Shahan's words. So, I'm going to tell everyone the song I'm going to sing. Everyone practice the harmony part first. When I go tomorrow, I just need to practice a few more times. Do you guys have the confidence to get first place with me? Shu Shahan asked. Yes. Most of the guys were Shu Shahan's fans. Even if they weren't, how could they reject such a beautiful girl's invitation? Thus, as soon as Shu Shahan's voice fell, everyone expressed their stance in unison. Okay, since you're confident, then you have to work hard. If we can't get first place, it'll be very embarrassing for me, Shu Shahan said with a smile. Don't worry, we'll definitely work hard. A guy took the lead. It was the guy called Jo Chongqing. Us too. The rest of the guys saw that someone took the lead, so they naturally didn't want to be outdone. Okay, the song I prepared for everyone is called Story of Youth. It's also one of my most famous songs. There's a lot of harmony and narration, and the whole song is like a drama. I believe that the students who have seen the music video of this song know that it was filmed in a university. What we need to do is to restore the music video of this song to the stage, Shu Shahan said. Story of Youth was just like what Shu Shahan said. The music video was filmed in a university. It was also a drama, singing about the beautiful university life. There was love, friendship, and nervousness before exams. The theme of the song was the epitome of university life. It would be hard not to win an award if it was performed at the freshman party. With Shu Shahan as the original singer and the cooperation of the students, it would definitely cause an unprecedented sensation. What everyone needs to do next is to familiarize yourself with this song, then find a few stunt doubles for the supporting roles in the music video. As for the rest, we can start rehearsing tomorrow, Shu Shahan said. No problem. Don't worry, Shu Shahan. I'm the class monitor, Bai Wei-tuo. I'll definitely complete the task. Bai Wei-tuo was very excited. Shu Shahan was willing to help everyone. Although he knew that it was because of Lin Yi, the person she was helping was him. How could he not be excited? Moreover, Himeyue's idol was Shu Shahan. Zhong Duopan invited Shu Shahan's junior sister to come. It was also to please Himeyu. After all, other than Shu Shahan, Himeyu also liked Cheng Yi. However, with Shu Shahan here, Himeyu naturally liked Shu Shahan more. Okay, Bai Wei-tuo. Everyone's rehearsal, I'll leave it to you, Shu Shahan said. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to start working here. Everyone, do your best. Okay, We'll do our best. Bai Weituo and the students present said in unison. Coiling Tiger Right and the other two were very gloomy. They saw that Bai Weituo was one of Lin Yi's people, so they wanted to create some trouble for him. But now, it seemed like trouble was no longer trouble. So, Coiling Tiger Right and the other two left Lin Yi's dorm. After the video ended, all the medical students were excited and requested to start rehearsing right away. Bai Weituo excitedly downloaded Xu Shahan's story of youth music video and played it for everyone to see. Then, he started to pick the supporting characters and cameos from the class. Lindage, which role are you going to play? Bai Weituo naturally let Lin Yi choose first. After all, Xu Shahan was invited by Lin Yi. It was reasonable to let him choose first. No one would object. Chapter 1964. Oh, I'll play this role. Book C Pavilion. Lin Yi pointed at a guy in the music video. This was a minor character from the start. He sat in front of the desk and didn't move at all. The girl beside him was also a minor character. Bai Weituo didn't understand why Lin Yi chose this character. There were a lot of minor characters, and Lin Yi only chose one of them. Other than that, there were a lot of supporting characters that followed Xu Shahan. Lin bro, are you sure? Just a minor character? Bai Weituo was surprised. I'm not good at acting. This minor character is good enough, Lin Yi said. Lin Yi didn't have much interest in standing out at the freshman party. Lin Yi didn't flirt with girls, and he didn't do it to please anyone. He only played a minor character because this was a group activity, and it was organized by Bai Weituo. It wouldn't be good if he didn't act. Okay. Bai Weituo saw that Lin Yi insisted, so he didn't say anything else. Then, Xinyan's sis-in-law, she's the same as me, a minor character. Lin Yi knew that Xinyan didn't like being in the limelight, so he made the decision for her. Lin Yi basically had nothing to do for the rest of the rehearsal. After saying goodbye to Bai Weituo, Lin Yi left the dorm. When he went downstairs, a figure ran up quickly. If it wasn't for Lin Yi dodging in time, he would have bumped into Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't want to say anything to this kind of reckless person, but he didn't expect that this person was someone he knew. Lin Yi bro. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with surprise. Han Jingjing? Why are you in the boys' dorm? Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing strangely. Didn't the girls' dorm not allow boys to enter freely? Did the boys' dorm not have this rule? Didn't you say that you were going to rehearse? Did Bai Weituo call me? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi even more strangely. Why aren't you rehearsing? I mean, how did you get into the male dormitory? Didn't the guard at the door stop you? Lin Yi asked. No, why did he stop me? He even smiled at me. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi in confusion. Then you can go up to room 444. I'll be a cameo, so I don't need to rehearse, Lin Yi said. Why don't they rehearse? Han Jingjing asked. There's no why. Lin Yi simply didn't answer her. Otherwise, it would be endless. Then I'll play a minor role too, so there's no need to rehearse. Book C Pavilion. Han Jingjing nodded and said, Lin Yi Gij, where are you going? I'm going home, Lin Yi said. Then I'm going home too. You can drive me back, Han Jingjing said. Let's go. Lin Yi didn't want to reject her. It would be a waste of time. Forbert was leaving in the afternoon. Although Pengzhan knew that he had found his long-lost wife, there were still a lot of things to do at the company. Forbert had to report back as soon as possible. If it was feasible, he could set up a branch here. That way, Forbert could meet Grandma Sun often. Lin Yi Gij, you and Wang Xinyan are a couple. Why are you living with Meng Yarrow and Yu Shu? Han Jingjing didn't stop talking after getting in the car. First, Wang Xinyan and I are not a couple. Second, it's called sharing, not living together, Lin Yi explained. Oh, then Lin Yi Gij you are single? Han Jingjing said happily. That's great. No, I have a girlfriend, Lin Yi said. Then why didn't I see her? Where is she? Han Jingjing asked. That has nothing to do with you, Lin Yi said. Then you and Xinyan sit together every day, and you live with Meng Yarrow and Yu Shu. Doesn't your girlfriend get jealous? Han Jingjing asked again. Not jealous. Why do you have so many questions? Lin Yi frowned. Many. Didn't teacher say that if you don't understand something, don't be ashamed to ask? Han Jingjing said innocently. Then ask someone else. Lin Yi said. Chapter 1965. It didn't matter if Grandma Sun could regain her previous strength, Forbert didn't care too much about it. What Forbert cared about was when she could regain her memory. Since you've thought of it, let's try it now. Lin Yi nodded and said, let's start now. What do you want me to do? Grandma Sun asked quickly. You don't need to do anything, just use your mantra like you normally do, and absorb the chi of heaven and earth. Lin Yi said. Okay. Grandma Sun nodded to show that she understood. Lin Yi, on the other hand, held Grandma Sun's wrist pulse, and started the first level of the art of dragon mastery. However, the familiar feeling of chi flowing into Grandma Sun's body from his hand didn't happen. There seemed to be no exchange of chi between the two of them, which made Lin Yi very confused. Grandma Sun, you didn't use your Neigong mantra? Lin Yi asked curiously. I used it. Grandma Sun nodded and said, I've been using it, but I can't absorb any chi from your body, something's wrong. Lin Yi frowned and continued to use the art of dragon mastery to convert his universal chi into the same chi as Forbert, but there was still no movement, as if the chi couldn't be absorbed by Grandma Sun at all. Book C Pavilion Net. According to Lin Yi's previous situation, Lin Yi didn't need to deliberately use the art of dragon mastery to convert chi into a specific kind of chi. As long as the recipient of the chi used his own Neigong mantra, the art of dragon mastery would automatically convert the chi into the chi that the recipient needed. But this situation was different now. Not only could Grandma Sun not convert Lin Yi's chi into the chi that she needed, she couldn't even absorb the chi that Lin Yi had converted. It still doesn't work. Grandma Sun shook her head and said, What's going on? I have already transformed my innate chi into the same innate chi as Forbert, but Grandma Sun still can't absorb it. Lin Yi said with a frown. Hey, that's a little strange. Forbert was originally full of expectations, but it also turned into a mind full of questions. This was the first time Lin Yi had encountered such a strange situation. In the past, this method of helping others level up had always been successful for Lin Yi, and he had never encountered a situation where it failed. Could it be that the Sun family's mental cultivation method is different from normal cultivation, and cannot be improved using your special method? Grandma Sun thought of a very important problem. After all, the Sun family's mental cultivation method is not for cultivation, it is a kind of supplementary mental cultivation method. Support mental cultivation method. I think I've figured something out. Let me think about it. Although Lin Yi said this, in his heart he wanted to find Jiao Yazi to verify whether his idea was correct. He pretended to close his eyes and think, but in his heart he asked, Jiao Lao, what's going on? Why is this happening? Isn't my innate chi the universal innate chi? Why doesn't it work on Grandma Sun? Forbert and Grandma Sun saw that Lin Yi was closing his eyes and thinking, so they didn't dare disturb him. They just sat quietly and waited. When Jiao Laro heard Lin Yi's question, he didn't have too many doubts. He just thought for a moment and said, if my deduction is correct, Grandma Sun's mental cultivation method should be to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual chi, and transform it into a special form of energy from the Sun family's mental cultivation method. This form of energy can also be transformed into innate chi that Forbert can use through Grandma Sun's mental cultivation method, and then transferred to Forbert. But, because of the special nature of her mental cultivation method, she can only absorb the heaven and earth spiritual chi, and can't directly absorb your transformed innate chi or O. But why can other people directly transfer their transformed innate chi to her? If that's the case, then can I directly transform it into Grandma Sun's unique energy form? Lin Yi asked. I'm afraid that won't work either. The support type of mental cultivation method is not the same as the normal type of mental cultivation method. Her mental cultivation method should only be able to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual chi, and it must be the most primitive heaven and earth spiritual chi that hasn't been transformed in any way. In other words, the pure energy in the jade pendant, as long as it has been transformed, it can't be absorbed anymore. Jiao Laro said, just like you can transfer innate chi to other people, but other people can't transfer innate chi to you, me? I can, right? General Weiwu and Tianlei Pig's innate qi is exactly the same as the innate qi in my body. I can use it. Lin Yi said. I'm talking about other people. Did I talk about spirit beasts? Pay attention to people. Jiao Yazi said speechlessly. Is that so? Lin Yi suddenly felt a little awkward. So, other than letting Grandma Sun absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi or pure energy, other than that, there's no other way to increase her strength. That should be it. Of course, you can let me study Sun Family's mental cultivation method, and I'll think about other ways. Jiao Laro said. Looks like it won't work for now. Lin Yi nodded. Jiao Laro's deduction was similar to Lin Yi's, but Lin Yi's analysis wasn't as thorough as Jiao Laro's. Jiao Laro explained the reason from the theory, but Lin Yi only roughly guessed the result. Lin Yi opened his eyes and said to Forbert, if my deduction isn't wrong, Grandma Sun's mental cultivation method should be to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi and transform it into a special form of energy from Sun Family's mental cultivation method and store it in her body. Then, Lin Yi explained Jiao Laro's words to Grandma Sun and Forbert. This kind of learning and applying on the spot made Jiao Yazi look down on Jiao Yazi, but Jiao Yazi didn't say much. He almost never interfered with Lin Yi's daily life, and he was too lazy to interfere. He only guided Lin Yi's path of cultivation. So that's how it is, looks like it won't work. Forbert listened to Lin Yi's explanation, and suddenly felt very disappointed. He couldn't help but sigh and said, in this case, we can only rely on Grandma Sun's own efforts. Li Fu, you don't have to worry too much about it. It's already a good thing to be able to get the Sun Family's mental cultivation method and practice it again. It's only a matter of time before you regain your memory. There's no need to rush. Grandma Sun smiled and said, there's still a long way to go. Yes, there's still a long way to go. Forbert nodded and said, I was too anxious. In fact, you have already accepted me again. Think about it carefully, it's not too important whether you regain your memory or not. Lin Yi saw that Forbert and Grandma Sun were very open about it, and he was relieved. Chapter 1966. If Grandma Sun's qi wasn't in her head but in other parts of her meridians, Lin Yi could help to expel it. However, the qi was in her head, so Lin Yi didn't dare to act rashly. He was afraid that it would cause more damage to Grandma Sun's head, so it was better for Grandma Sun to cultivate on her own. Book C Pavilion, Net. After sending off Forbert with Grandma Sun returned to her room to continue cultivating. Now, other than cleaning up the house, Grandma Sun spent the rest of her time cultivating. She found something to do, so she wouldn't be so bored every day. Lin Yi was about to go back to school, but he heard the doorbell outside the villa. Who would come at this time? Obviously, it wasn't Xiao Shu and Xiao Xiao. They were rehearsing in the afternoon. Even if they came back, they had the key. Forbert just left. Could it be that Forbert came back? When he opened the door of the villa, he saw Han Jingjing standing outside. Why are you here? Is there anything else? Lin Yi was a little depressed when he saw Han Jingjing. This girl was too clingy, and she always asked tricky questions that were hard to answer. Lin Yi usually kept his distance from her. I want to get the property certificate. Can you accompany me? Han Jingjing asked. Get the property certificate? Go get it yourself. Do you need someone to accompany you? Lin Yi was a little speechless. She accompanied her to school, she accompanied her to the bathroom, and now she wanted him to accompany her to get the property certificate. My car is at school. How can I go without a car? Han Jingjing said. Book C Pavilion, Net. Fut. Your car is at school, and you want to come back with me? Is there something wrong with your brain? Lin Yi didn't know what to say after hearing Han Jingjing's words. It saves gas. Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly, if I take your car, wouldn't I be able to save money on gas? You came home just to collect these procedures? Lin Yi glanced at Han Jingjing, who was holding a portfolio in her hand. He also had one, which was given to him by the agent. When the property certificate was issued, he would use these documents to get it from the administrative hall. Yes. Han Jingjing nodded. Then why didn't you drive when you knew that you were going to apply for a property certificate? Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Don't I have you? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi strangely. If you drive, Why should I drive? Am I stupid? Lin Yi took a deep breath and thought to himself, you're not stupid, I'm stupid. I'm a fool, okay? Shaking his head, Zhongxian calmed himself down and said, wait a moment, I'll go get my property certificate too. Oh, so you're going to get a property certificate too? Why didn't you say so earlier? I felt a little guilty. Now, you're just taking me there on the way, Han Jingjing said happily. Book C Pavilion Web. I. Lin Yi pointed at Han Jingjing, but in the end, he didn't say anything. Was this girl from planet Namek? Why did she think differently from normal people? So, Lin Yi guessed that it would be useless to tell her, so he might as well not say it. Turning around and entering the villa, Lin Yi took out the portfolio given by the agent. According to the agent, the property certificate would be issued in about half a month, and he could go to the administrative hall to get it. Now that the military training was over, it had been half a month, but Lin Yi wasn't in a hurry. He thought that he would go get it during the weekend, but he didn't expect that Han Jingjing would ruin his plans. After getting in the car, Lin Yi set up the navigation system in the administrative hall and drove out of the Shueshang district with Han Jingjing. You left your car at school, and you don't need to care about it? Lin Yi asked. Yes, so you can accompany me to school at night and get the car back. Also, you can pick up my brother from school, Han Jingjing said. Lin Yi really wanted to slap himself. How could his mouth be so fast? It was just a random topic, but he didn't think that it would cause him trouble. Can't you just let your brother drive it back? Lin Yi suggested. My brother doesn't know how to drive, Han Jingjing said. Then why are you taking my car back? Do you have nothing better to do? Lin Yi almost broke down if it wasn't for the strict training he had gone through. His mental endurance wasn't something a normal person could compare to. Why do you say that? Aren't you going to pick up Yao Yao and Shu tonight? Han Jingjing asked. That's good, they both know how to drive. I'll let them drive your brother's car back. Lin Yi thought about it and agreed. He still had to pick up Meng Yao and Yu Shu. Okay. Han Jingjing agreed readily. Lin Yi finally breathed out in relief. He was about to say something when Han Jingjing continued, but my brother doesn't have the car keys. We have to give them the car keys. Pretend I didn't say anything. Let's go to school together. With that, Lin Yi shut his mouth and didn't say another word to Han Jingjing. Lin Yi didn't want to die from anger. There weren't many people in the office at this time. Lin Yi parked the car downstairs and got the property certificate with Han Jingjing. It didn't waste much time. Lin Yi was about to go back to the villa when Han Jingjing said, Is there an antique market nearby? Lin Yi bro, can you bring me around? What are you going to the antique market for? Lin Yi asked curiously. I want to buy a cauldron. Han Jingjing said. Cauldron? Why do you want to buy that? Lin Yi frowned, but his heart was slightly shocked. A cauldron was something used by an alchemist. Although this thing was also used by Taoists in ancient times for alchemy, so this kind of thing would sometimes appear in the antique market. But Han Jingjing was a student. Why would she buy a cauldron? To study alchemy. Han Jingjing didn't hide it and told Lin Yi the truth. Alchemy? Lin Yi was shocked. Who was this Han Jingjing? She actually knew about alchemy. Could she be a disciple of some hidden family or ancient sect? Yeah. You don't know about alchemy. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with an even more strange expression. You came to study medicine, but you haven't heard about alchemy. Then do you know what an alchemist is? Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's surprised look and smiled bitterly in his heart. Was the profession of alchemist so common that ordinary people knew about it? You're talking about the legendary refiners in the world of practicing? Lin Yi asked without batting an eyelid. Ah. So Lin Yi bro knows about it too. I knew it. Those who come to Boss Bai to study medicine are more or less the children of their families who are in the pharmaceutical industry. Han Jingjing nodded and said, I want to be an alchemist, so I applied for medicine. Then do you know how to become an alchemist? Lin Yi continued to ask. Chapter 1967. I don't know. Han Jingjing shook her head blankly. Do you know, Lin Yi bro? I don't know either. Book Ocean Pavilion, Lin Yi said faintly, There was no way he'd tell a classmate he'd only known for a few days that he had Zhongleju's notes. You don't know, what kind of cauldron did you buy? I can study it. Han Jingjing said. Besides, I've found a lot of information about elixir refiners on the internet. I want to study it myself. Besides, I always go to the antique market. Maybe I can find an elixir refiner's practitioner's arts. I see. Go ahead and study it then. Lin Yi didn't say anything. It seemed like this Han Jingjing had heard about elixir refiners from somewhere and started to study elixir making, but she didn't know how to do it. Of course, it'd be weird if she became an elixir refiner that easily. With that thought, Lin Yi let go of his suspicions. Normal people didn't know about practitioners and elixir refiners, but those rich people who hired practitioners as bodyguards would still know about practitioners, and as for elixir refiners, those practitioners would definitely know about them. So it was normal for a rich girl like Han Jingjing to have a practitioner as a bodyguard, and it wasn't hard for her to find out about elixir refiners from her bodyguards, but it seemed like she was obsessed with elixir refiners, and she even applied for a major in university. Yes. Han Jingjing nodded heavily. Lin Yi bro, don't you like elixir refiners? I don't know how to do it even if I do, Lin Yi said faintly. Then when I learn it, I can teach Lin Yi bro, and then we can dual practice together. Han Jingjing said. Phut. What? Dual cultivation? Lin Yi coughed twice, shocked by Han Jingjing's words. Yeah, isn't practicing elixir refiners together dual practice? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi, confused. Alright, when you learn it, I'll dual cultivate with you. Lin Yi was too lazy to explain too much to Han Jingjing. This little girl had probably become stupid from studying alchemy and herbs since she was a child. If he explained too much to her, she would definitely ask why, so Lin Yi decided not to explain. That's great. Then, big brother Lin Yi, it's a deal. It's a deal. Han Jingjing stuck out her little finger. What? Lin Yi frowned. Pinky promise. Han Jingjing said, only pinky promise can guarantee that you are not lying. Okay. Pinky promise. Seeing that Han Jingjing was going to talk endlessly again, Lin Yi quickly interrupted her, stretched out his little finger to hook with her, perfunctorily completed the task. Book C Pavilion, net. Pinky promise. You can't change it. Han Jingjing said. No change. Can we go now? Lin Yi started the car and said helplessly. No, aren't we going to the antique market now? I want to study alchemy, so I have to buy a medicine cauldron. If I don't study, how can I teach you? Big brother Lin Yi, you won't not support me, right? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi pitifully and asked, we have pinky promise. Lin Yi looked at the time and found that there was still a lot of time before school ended, so he nodded and said, okay, then let's just walk around. The antique market in Donghai City was located near the Dongtian Gate. Lin Yi had never been here before. He could only rely on the direction of the GPS to come to one of the largest antique market in Donghai City and even the entire province. Because Donghai was a provincial capital, the antique market in Donghai City was much larger than other cities. Lin Yi parked the car in the parking lot of the antique market. The parking fee was 20 yuan, which made Lin Yi feel a little cheated. This antique market was really something for the rich to play. Even the parking fee was more expensive than other places. Fortunately, Lin Yi didn't care about this little money. After parking the car, he walked into the antique market with Han Jingjing. The antique market was very big. There were all kinds of things for sale. There were all kinds of things, real and fake. It was difficult to buy the real thing if one wasn't an expert. However, Lin Yi wasn't interested in buying antiques. There were so many treasures in the ancient tomb, but Lin Yi didn't take any of them away, let alone spend money to buy these things. What Han Jingjing wanted to buy was a medicine cauldron. This kind of thing wasn't common. Generally, it depended on luck. However, there were many imitations. It was just that the material of this kind of thing wasn't much different from the real thing. It was either cast iron or copper, which was enough for a junior alchemist. The two of them came with a purpose. Lin Yi had the idea of looking around casually, while Han Jingjing was specifically looking for a medicine cauldron. Therefore, the two of them were basically looking around. After walking through more than half of the market, Han Jingjing finally found a stall that specialized in selling medicine cauldrons. How much is this medicine cauldron? Han Jingjing directly picked up a cast-iron medicine cauldron that looked similar and asked. This was used by the Ming dynasty's celestial protector, Daoist Zhong. When the seller saw Han Jingjing's dress, he knew that she was a rich girl. She probably didn't know anything about antiques, so he directly started to bluff. Big brother Lin Yi, is this person stupid? I asked him how much is he selling it. Why did he say so many inexplicable words? Han Jingjing put down the medicine cauldron and said to Lin Yi. Ari, little girl, how can you talk like that? Who are you calling stupid? When the stall owner heard Han Jingjing scolding him, he suddenly became a little unhappy. Big brother Lin Yi, look at this person. Not only is he stupid, but he also doesn't know his place. The things he sells are definitely not good. Let's go to someone else's shop and have a look. Han Jingjing turned around and was ready to leave. Wait, don't go. I'm not telling you the origin of the medicine cauldron. If you don't want to listen, we can talk about the price. When the stall owner saw that Han Jingjing was about to leave, he immediately became anxious and quickly stopped her. Big brother Lin Yi, let's go. Han Jingjing was determined to leave. Lin Yi was helpless. He had to turn around and follow. However, before the two of them could walk far, two burly men blocked their way. What do you want? Han Jingjing looked at the two big men in front of her vigilantly. You want to leave after breaking the medicine cauldron? It's not that easy, one of the big men said coldly. They were punks in this area. The merchants in this antique market all paid them protection fees. Naturally, they would help these people solve some problems. It was a mutually beneficial thing. Just now, the stall owner was scolded by Han Jingjing. He was already a little unhappy. Seeing that the business that was in his hands was gone, he naturally felt even more uncomfortable. So, he found two punks to teach Lin Yi and Han Jingjing a lesson. In the stall owner's view, both of them were dressed like students. Han Jingjing was also wearing famous brands. With one look, he could tell that they were rich people. It was naturally not difficult to squeeze some money from them. Chapter 1968. Moreover, the medicine cauldron that Han Jingjing picked up just happened to have a corner missing. In fact, it was deliberately made like this to show that it was old. It was an antique work of art, but at this moment, it was a good opportunity to blackmail. Book C Pavilion Dash. Broke the medicine cauldron? You mean the one just now? I just picked it up and looked at it. Han Jingjing knew that these two people were deliberately sent by the stall owner to make things difficult for her. There was a trace of panic in her eyes, but when she thought that Lin Yi was by her side, she felt more at ease. Whether it is broken or not, we will know when we go back. The other man made a gesture and said, please, don't make things difficult for us. Then let's go back and have a look. Lin Yi didn't put these two people in his eyes at all. Lin Yi had other plans when he went back. The stall that sold medicine cauldrons was quite complete. If Han Jingjing didn't leave, Lin Yi also planned to take one back to study and practice. This antique market was very big, and Lin Yi didn't have the mood to continue shopping. Moreover, Lin Yi also saw that there was no real treasure here. Looking at the customers coming and going, there were many experts among them. If there was a good thing, it would have been taken away by them. Moreover, Lin Yi didn't expect to get what he needed here. Han Jingjing listened to Lin Yi and naturally didn't refuse. She turned around with Lin Yi and returned to the previous stall under the escort of the two men. Little girl, this medicine cauldron, when you put it in, you broke a corner. Isn't it a bit inappropriate to leave like this? The stall owner naturally couldn't blatantly blackmail. After all, he was a local resident here. He didn't dare to be too extreme. If these two students didn't know what was good for them and called the police or went to the market management office, then he would be in trouble. Broken. Han Jingjing frowned. It's here, look. The stall owner picked up the medicine cauldron and pointed to the ear on the side of the medicine cauldron. Indeed, there was a broken ear. Did I do this? Han Jingjing looked at the hole on the cauldron in surprise. This is an antique. Naturally, it has to be handled with care. You just threw it on the table with a bang, so it's normal for a corner to be broken, the stall owner explained. Ah, brother Lin Yi. Am I that powerful? You can break the cauldron? Han Jingjing looked at her hand and said in surprise. Oh, what do you want to do? Lin Yi ignored Han Jingjing and looked at the stall owner indifferently. He asked. This medicine cauldron was the Ming dynasty's celestial protector. The stall owner began to talk non-stop. It's not wrong to say that you're stupid. I asked you what you want to do, and you're not answering my question? Lin Yi interrupted the stall owner impatiently and asked coldly. Ah, big brother Lin Yi, you can also see that this stall owner is stupid? See, I'm right. When Han Jingjing heard that Lin Yi agreed with her point of view, she immediately became very happy. Me. The stall owner snorted coldly, but he wasn't in the mood to care about this. His main purpose was to extort, not to quarrel, so he said directly, this medicine cauldron is 50,000 yuan. Take out the money. It has been broken by you, so I can only sell it to you. Oh. Lin Yi picked up the medicine cauldron, and a mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. This medicine cauldron is from the Ming dynasty? Only 50,000 yuan? That's really cheap. I say, boss, is there something wrong with your brain? You. The stall owner quoted 50,000 yuan, which was already a sky-high price among imitations. The normal price of this thing was only a few hundred yuan. He wanted 50,000 yuan, which was already a lot. He didn't expect the other party to think that it was too little. The boss was wrong just now. It's 500,000 yuan. The macho man behind Lin Yi suddenly said, 500,000 yuan, not a single portion less. Hurry up and take out the money, or we'll be in trouble. When the boss heard the macho man's words, he was suddenly happy. Although he knew that even if he got the 500,000 yuan, he would probably have to share it with these two people. He estimated that he had to give half to these two people, but he could get 250,000 yuan, which was a lot more than the previous 50,000 yuan, so he immediately said, yes, it's 500,000 yuan. I was wrong just now. 500,000 yuan. He, you mean that if I give you 500,000 yuan, this medicine cauldron will belong to me? Lin Yi weighed the medicine cauldron in his hand and asked. Of course. The stall owner nodded and replied. Oh, since it's mine, then I can deal with this medicine cauldron however I want. As Lin Yi said this, he squeezed his hand. The originally solid cast iron medicine cauldron couldn't even be compared to mud in Lin Yi's hand. It was directly squeezed into an iron ball by Lin Yi. Then, with a peng sound, he threw it on the table. The quality of your medicine cauldron is so bad, and you said that we broke it. It can be crushed with just a squeeze, and you dare to ask for 500,000 yuan? Ah. When the stall owner saw that Lin Yi suddenly squeezed the medicine cauldron into a piece of iron, he was immediately dumbfounded and couldn't say a word. And the two macho men behind Lin Yi's face changed. Although these two men were gangsters from a nearby gang, there was also a master in the early phase of the golden class in the gang. Crushing the medicine cauldron, that master could also do it, but he was the most powerful existence in the gang, even the gang leader respected him. But this young man in front of them actually had such strength. How could this not surprise these two gangsters? They weren't fools. The move that Lin Yi showed just now was obviously intentional. If they didn't know what was good for them, they would probably be beaten up. This kind of ruthless person that even the gang leader respected, how could they dare to offend? I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. Both of you are from a noble family, right? I'm sorry if I offended you just now. One of the macho men quickly cupped his fist at Lin Yi, then pulled the other macho man and prepared to leave. And the other macho man gave the stall owner a look, lowered his voice and said, Old Wang, did you see wrongly? How could these two young masters and young mistresses deliberately destroy your broken medicine cauldron? It's just 50 yuan of trash, even if they broke it, it's giving you face. After that, the two of them quickly left. Anyway, they had already hinted to the stall owner that if he didn't be careful and offended someone, then it wasn't something that these two punks could solve. In fact, at the moment when Lin Yi crushed the medicine cauldron, the stall owner knew that he had kicked an iron plate. Looking at the reaction of the two gangsters, the stall owner was even more afraid. It turned out that these two were ruthless people. If he had known this earlier, he wouldn't have extorted them. Haha, I was just joking just now. This medicine cauldron is only 50 yuan, it's not worth mentioning. In the blink of an eye, the 500,000 yuan medicine cauldron became 50 yuan, but the stall owner's expression was very natural, as if he didn't mention 500,000 yuan at all. I called the two of you here to apologize. These medicine cauldrons are all imitations. I said that they were from the Ming dynasty, but that was bullsh*t. In order to express my apology, the two of you can just take a few medicine cauldrons. If you like this work, I welcome you to come to Starting Point and vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1969. Really? Han Jingjing was overjoyed when she heard that it was free. You're not that stupid. Hehe, of course, we can't always be stupid, right? After hearing what you said, I was enlightened. I'm not stupid anymore, so you're my great benefactor, you can pick whatever you want. In order to avoid trouble, the stall owner tried his best to please Lin Yi and Han Jingjing. Book C Pavilion - the two hoodlums had made it very clear that these two might be from noble houses. There were many noble houses in Donghai, but no matter which one, even if it was the Kang family that hadn't become a noble house yet, they could easily deal with an antique seller like him. So naturally, he didn't dare to offend them. Han Jingjing picked a bronze cauldron that looked good, and Lin Yi also randomly picked one to study. But when they left, Lin Yi still gave the stall owner 200 yuan because Lin Yi didn't want to take advantage of him. 200 yuan was the cost of these two cauldrons plus the one he broke earlier. After sending the two away, the stall owner wiped his sweat. He thought to himself, I can't scam people anymore. I almost got into trouble today. Luckily, I was smart, and those two didn't want to teach me a lesson. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll be in danger. After buying the cauldrons, Lin Yi didn't want to continue looking around, and Han Jingjing's goal was the cauldron. So the two left the antique market and went straight to school. It was almost time for school to end. Donghai Industry University. The news spread very fast in the school. Especially the news that Xu Shahan was going to attend the freshman party. Naturally, the news spread throughout the school in no time. Although everyone was doubtful about this news, the medical students all patted their chests confidently, claiming that they had already video chatted with Xu Shahan, and Xu Shahan had personally chosen the performance for them in the video. Not only that, Xu Shahan was coming tomorrow, and she would rehearse with them and go to the freshman party together. Also, the class leader of the medical major, Bai Weituo, said on the school's BBS that this was actually a challenge. His performance was all for a girl he liked. Bai Weituo simply wrote down the bet between him and Zhong Duopan on the BBS. The purpose of this was to prevent Zhong Duopan from going back on his word and not admitting it. Of course. More importantly, it was to win He Meiyue's favor. Bai Weituo's writing was very emotional. He said that his true feelings for He Meiyu had touched Xu Shahan, so Xu Shahan helped him after knowing that He Meiyu was his fan. Although this theory was very far-fetched, let's not talk about how Bai Weituo knew Xu Shahan. Even if he managed to contact Xu Shahan wouldn't come to the freshman party for a stranger, right? If Xu Shahan was this kind, then there would be things to do every day, and she wouldn't have to do anything else. But even so, some people were moved by Bai Weituo's true feelings, and He Meiyu was one of them. Meiyu, this Bai Weituo is really considerate. He knows that you're Xu Shahan's fan and he actually invited Xu Shahan here. He even made a public post saying that it was for you. Xiaoling said excitedly. Sai, isn't it all because of Zhong Duopan? I wonder how much Bai Weituo paid to invite Xu Shahan this time. He Meiyu wasn't stupid. She knew that Bai Weituo couldn't have invited Xu Shahan because he was moved by her or something. One had to know that Xu Shahan's appearance fee was sky high. And normal people couldn't even invite her. And this time, if it wasn't for Zhong Duopan inviting Xu Shahan's junior sister Cheng Yi to the freshman party, Bai Weituo wouldn't have invited Xu Shahan. Now, in order to suppress Zhong Duopan, he could only grit his teeth and invite a celebrity. He Meiyu didn't know how much Bai Weituo spent, but Zhong Duopan used his family's connections to find Cheng Yi. He still spent 200,000 in appearance fee, and that was the price of a favor. One had to know. Cheng Yi was just a celebrity, She couldn't be compared to Shu Shahan. If it wasn't for her junior sister Shu Shahan's halo, probably not many people would know her. Moreover, just singing a song on stage would cost 200,000 yuan. This price was really not low. It could be seen that Zhong Duopan spent a lot of money. Bai Weituo invited Shu Shahan. From He Meiyu's point of view, at least 1 million would be spent, and even 1 million would be hard to invite. Although He Meiyu knew that Bai Weituo's roommate, Lin Yi, seemed to be very rich, she didn't want Bai Weituo to owe Lin Yi too much. Among the many pursuers, He Meiyu had high hopes for Bai Weituo. So, if she really chose Bai Weituo, naturally, she didn't want Bai Weituo to owe too much, because He Meiyu wasn't a person who liked to owe others. Meiyu, you don't seem very happy. If someone performed for me, I'd be so happy, but that Zhao Shengji guy, other than being fat and inviting me to dinner, he doesn't know anything. Chai Xiaoling said enviously. Man, I hope it's like you. Do you think it's a good thing to have a guy fighting for you? He Meiyu shook her head. As the two were talking, Wang Xinyan pushed the door open and entered the room. Chai Xiaoling saw Wang Xinyan and immediately said excitedly, Xinyan, how is it? Don't tell me your class really invited Shu Shahan? Originally, Chai Xiaoling could have called Zhao Shengji, but she and Zhao Shengji hadn't confirmed their relationship yet, so she didn't want to be so proactive. Coincidentally, Wang Xinyan came back, so she asked Wang Xinyan. Ah, you guys know too? Wang Xinyan also just got the news. She received Bai Weituo's call and went to Lin Yi's room, but Lin Yi wasn't there yet. So, Wang Xinyan followed Lin Yi's arrangement and learned how to perform a small role. Now that she just came back, she heard the discussion of her roommates. These people sure got the news fast. Of course, Wang Xinyan still didn't know that Bai Weituo couldn't wait to declare war. The school's BBS is spreading, it seems like it's true. Chai Xiaoling said excitedly, last time Shu Shahan held a concert in Songshan, I really regret not going. It was about to be the college entrance exam, otherwise I would have definitely gone. This time, Shu Shahan can attend the freshman party, it's such a good opportunity. I finally got to see Shu Shahan in person. Yeah, I regretted not going, but it's about to be the college entrance exam, who can take a leave? He Meiyu said regretfully, this time, it's hard for Bai Weituo. Oh right, Xinyan, you're close with Lin Yi. This time Shu Shahan came to the freshman party, did he help her? How much did he actually spend? If you like this work, you're welcome to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Target =_blank. Chapter 1970. Ah, he knows Shu Shahan. Even if he knows her, he can't just come like that, can he? He Meiyu said, shocked. How good is he to be able to invite her without spending money? I don't know about that, because I didn't ask. Xinyan shook her head. But since he's here, there's no need to feel pressured. Lin Yi won't try to impress himself. Xinyan knew Lin Yi very well. She knew that Lin Yi wasn't someone who would let himself get the short end of the stick when they met on the train. People cheated him, but he took all their money. So, this Shu Shahan thing shouldn't be too difficult. But what Xinyan didn't know was that Lin Yi treated his friends very well. Even if it was difficult, Lin Yi would still try to help. But Lin Yi wouldn't do something like that. That's good. He Meiyu nodded. While the school was boiling with excitement, Zhong Duopan's face was as dark as a pig's liver as he sat in the rehearsal room, smoking. Motherfucker, Bai Weituo actually invited Shu Shahan? If we invite Cheng Yi, even if she can get a place, she won't be a match for Bai Weituo. Zhong Duopan cursed. This time, he was 100% sure that he would win. With Cheng Yi on the stage, at least the first place of the singing competition would be his. Most of the student council members in charge of voting would vote for them. After all, they had to give face to celebrities. But now, the first place was probably Shu Shahan, and the second place was Cheng Yi. Although second place was already a great result, in Zhong Duopan's eyes, it was as ugly as it could be. This was simply a slap in the face. Brother Zhong, it can't be that they're just creating hype, right? Fan Ganhe also frowned as he browsed the school on his phone. The post on the S forum hesitantly said, then they will use this incident to destroy our morale and make us give up on our own accord. I don't think so. As long as Bai Weituo isn't crazy, he wouldn't use such a despicable method. Otherwise, even if he succeeded, our morale would be affected and we would have to give up our performance. Ma Yu would look down on him. Zhong Duopan shook his head and said, "This matter is most likely true, but how did they invite them? We spent 200,000 to invite Cheng Yi, and that's because your dad's company asked her to endorse a product before, so they gave her a discount. How come Xu Shahan's appearance isn't more than 1 million? Fan Ganhe asked suspiciously. I don't know, but that Lin Yi seems to be a rich man. Maybe he paid for it, Zhong Duopan said. That bastard, I'll beat him to death sooner or later. Fan Ganhe was furious when he heard Lin Yi's name. Last time in the cafeteria, he wanted to beat Lin Yi up, but the instructor came before he could do anything. He didn't have the chance to do anything, which made him very frustrated. Cheng Yi will be here tonight. I'll ask her and see if this is true or not. Xu Shahan is her shejie from the same sect, she should know about this, Zhong Duopan said. Then do we continue practicing? Fan Ganhe asked. Of course, how can we not practice? When Cheng Yi comes, we'll continue to practice. Even if we lose, we have to lose with dignity. If we give up, then Ma Yu will look down on us even more. Zhong Duopan snorted. Then if you lose, brother Zhong, won't you have to give up? Fan Ganhe asked worriedly. That's fine. We'll just say that the bet was made when we drank too much last time. Everything was because we were drunk. I don't think Ma Yu will say anything, Zhong Duopan said. But if I give up directly, then Ma Yu will think that I'm afraid. That's different. Brother Zhong, you're so smart, Fan Ganhe said with admiration. Of course, I'm going to take over the family's company in the future. I can't do it without some intelligence, Zhong Duopan said proudly. Lin Yi didn't know that the school was in an uproar because of Xu Shahan's incident. He parked the car in the school parking lot, and Han Jingjing seemed to be interested in Xu F equals book C pavilion. Net Shahan didn't seem to be interested. She didn't even mention it on the way. After parking the car, Lin Yi sent a message to Miss Han Jingjing was also contacting her brother. Not long after, Meng Yaro and Yushu came. He didn't expect Han Xiaochao to follow behind them like a little follower. You're not getting off. Lin Yi turned to Han Jingjing and asked. Why should I get off? Aren't you going home? Han Jingjing asked. Home, but don't you want to drive your own car? Lin Yi pointed at the X5M not far away. No, it's a lot of gas. My brother and I will go back in your car, Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly. Okay. Lin Yi was already used to Han Jingjing. He really didn't want to say anything more. Meng Yaro and Yushu walked over. Yushu was originally sitting in the front passenger seat, but she frowned when she saw that it was taken by Han Jingjing. She was a little unhappy. Han Jingjing seemed to see Yushu's displeasure as well. She took the initiative to get off the car. I'll sit in the back. Since Han Jingjing said so, Meng Yaro and Yushu didn't say anything more. Although they were hitchhikers, they were still neighbors. After driving home, Han Jingjing brought Han Xiaochao back to their villa. Lin Yi, Meng Yaro, and Yushu went back as well. Lin Yi, I heard you invited Xu Shahan? Meng Yaro asked. Yeah. Lin Yi said and told Meng Yaro and Yushu about helping Bai Weituo chase Ma Yu. You sure have the mood to help someone else get girls. Meng Yaro didn't get angry when she heard that Lin Yi was helping someone else. Oh, I thought Shield Bro was trying to get on that Fox Yang's good side, Yushu said. Man, why would I do that? Besides, she's not called Fox Yang. Lin Yi said. She's seducing Shield Bro. She's called Fox Yang. Yushu said. Alright, Shu, I told you not to give people nicknames. It's easy to offend people. Meng Yaro didn't know why, but she didn't want to offend Xinyan. Perhaps Xinyan could really become Lin Yi's first wife. Chapter 1971. If that was the case, then the three would have to spend a lot of time together. If they really offended each other, then there would be no turning back. Oh. Yushu nodded unwillingly. Right, Forbert left already? Meng Yaro didn't see Forbert when she walked into the villa. She only saw Grandma's son working in the kitchen. Yes, he left in the afternoon. Report the results to Uncle Chu. If it's possible, we'll set up a company branch here. Lin Yi said. Meng Yaro nodded and didn't say anything else. She turned to the cauldron in Lin Yi's hand and asked, "What's that?" "I saw Han Jingjing holding something similar in her hand just now." "Cauldron. I'm going to study alchemy. Han Jingjing seems to be interested in it as well," Lin Yi said. Meng Yaro didn't ask anything else after hearing that it was about alchemy. Grandma Sun quickly placed the delicious dishes on the table. Meng Yaro and Lin Yi finally understood why a scavenger like Grandma Sun could be so good at cooking. She used to be Forbert's wife, the Miss of House Sunday. She used to be the daughter of a rich family. Marrying into Forbert's sect meant marrying into a rich family. She must have received professional training on housekeeping. After dinner, Lin Yi went back to his room. Grandma Sun cleaned up the dishes and went back to her room as well. Meng Yaro and Yushu sat on the sofa in the living room watching TV. "Why's Shield Bro here every day? He doesn't even play with us." Yushu hugged her legs as she sat on the sofa. She suddenly felt bored. The cartoons that made her laugh didn't seem that funny anymore. Was this what it felt like to grow up? In the blink of an eye, she was already a university student. Her high school days were still vivid in her mind. "Isn't he always like this?" Meng Yaro shook her head. "When we were in Songshan, didn't he go to dinner every day? It was just that we were more nervous every day. We'd study and read books after dinner. We didn't have much time to watch TV." "That's true. We're just too free now," Yushu said in boredom. Yaro, we haven't played in Donghai yet. Why don't we go out for a walk? Today? It's too late. Let's do it on the weekend, after the freshman's gala." Meng Yaro was a little tired, and she didn't want to go out again. Lin Yi obviously went out, so she didn't want to disturb Lin Yi. "All right." Yushu nodded disappointedly. After Lin Yi went back to his room, he read House Sun's arts to Jiao Yazi and started studying the cauldron he just bought. This kind of cauldron was more than enough for a first-level Huang-class refiner, because there was a limit to the amount of elixirs a Huang-class refiner could concoct, so they didn't need a cauldron that was too good. But the problem was that Lin Yi wasn't even a first-level Huang-class refiner. He could only condense the elixir fire, but he couldn't change the temperature or the intensity of the fire. With a slight change, the elixir fire would be extinguished. Lin Yi practiced a few more times, but the result was the same. He could only put the cauldron aside in disappointment. He was a genius in other people's eyes, but in reality, he wasn't much of a genius at all. The only thing he relied on was the art of dragon mastery and the jade space. If it weren't for the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi would just be a very average talent. He was still a golden class master at 18 years old. Compared to those hidden houses and ancient sects, he was an idiot. So Lin Yi didn't force himself and put the cauldron aside. It was just that Lin Yi was worried about Xiao Xiao. 2 years seemed like a long time, but it had already been half a year. There was still a year and a half left, and if she couldn't learn alchemy by then Xiao Xiao would really become an inheritor. After entering the jade space, Lin Yi prepared to continue. There was a saying, hard work makes up for one's lack of talent. Lin Yi was already too far behind Crystal Candy, so he could only rely on hard work and the unique environment in the jade space to catch up. "Jiao Lao, how is it? Did you see anything from the arts?" Lin Yi asked casually. "I did." Jiao Yazi's answer surprised Lin Yi. He thought that Jiao Yazi wouldn't be able to see anything in such a short time, but he really did. "What?" Lin Yi blinked. "This is an incomplete, simplified, and improved first stage of the art of dragon mastery," Jiao Yazi said. "What?" Lin Yi heard Jiao Yazi's words, and his eyes went wide. "What? House Sun's arts is the art of dragon mastery? Maybe it's from the same source, or maybe it's just a coincidence. This technique should be similar to the first level of the art of dragon mastery, but there are many parts that are incomplete, or simplified, but improved." Jiao Yazi nodded and said, "The first level of the art of dragon mastery allows one to transfer pure qi to others, repair meridians, and heal injuries. All of these are in the Sun family's techniques, but the art of dragon mastery can only be used by men. F equals fastest text update book C pavilion, no advertising however. The formula is suitable for both men and women. Ah! The improved version of the Art of Dragon Mastery? How could the Sun family have such a thing? Isn't the Art of Dragon Mastery unique? Lin Yi was shocked after hearing Zhao Yaz's words. Who said it's unique? The Art of Dragon Mastery, in ancient times, was the mantra of the Yellow Emperor's tribe. However, it evolved into a sect, and with the passage of time, this sect became like Chio's chrysanthemum treasured book, gradually declining until it was lost. Zhao Yazi said, the ancestor of House Sun might have been one of these sects, but he was talented and only received the incomplete first level of the Art of Dragon Mastery. After improving it himself, it became the Sun family's technique today. So you're saying that my Art of Dragon Mastery isn't unique? Lin Yi said as realization dawned on him. Of course not, but it should have been lost. Otherwise, the Sun family's technique wouldn't be incomplete and only have the first level of the improved version. Zhao Laro said. I see. Zhao Laro's words surprised Lin Yi. The Sun family actually had this kind of opportunity, and the ancestor of House Sun must have been an amazing person. With just the first level of the incomplete technique, he could improve the Sun family's technique. He could be described as a genius. Chapter 1972. What a waste of time. There are many extraordinary people in this world. You should be able to feel it. Your talent is actually very ordinary, but you are luckier than them. You have the space of the Jade Pendant, and also the Art of Dragon Mastery. Zhao Laro said mercilessly, of course, someone like Bingtang who reached the peak of the late phase of the Heaven class at the age of 10 might not be a genius. If you entered the Jade space 10 years earlier, you would have reached the Heaven class already. So, many things are coincidental. This Art of Dragon Mastery was obtained by Uncle Master by accident. That's why it became your destiny. Elder Zhao, why's the way you talk these days? It's almost like you're talking about some kind of Zen. Lin Yi said, looking at Elder Zhao oddly. It's nothing. I'm just reminding you not to be too proud. You have to be down to earth, Zhao Laro said faintly, but you can also practice the Sun family's technique. It's not too difficult. I can practice it. Wouldn't that waste a lot of time? What's the point of practicing it? Lin Yi asked. It's useless. Your first level of the Art of Dragon Mastery can do everything it can do. But this woman can do it too, Zhao Yazi said. Damn, then why would I waste my time? Lin Yi was speechless. He closed his eyes and ignored Zhao Laro. He knew he was fooled. A flight slowly landed at the airport of East Ocean City, and a girl with tanned skin and oversized sunglasses walked out of the domestic arrival gate in a low-key manner. Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganhe, who were standing not far away, immediately walked up to her. Cheng. F equals fastest text update, book C pavilion no ads. Miss Cheng. Zhong Duopan wanted to call Cheng Yi, but he was afraid that others would hear him and watch. After all, Cheng Yi was a celebrity with a little fame. If she attracted the attention of the media, it would be hard for her to get away. This wheat-skinned girl was Cheng Yi. Her skin color looked very healthy and beautiful. This should be the effect of some kind of light, giving people a wild beauty. Compared to Xu Shahan's pure white skin, it was even more eye-catching. That was why she instantly gained a lot of popularity after her debut. This was also related to her skin color, which was why she was called the Coffee Girl. Hello, young Master Pan. Cheng Yi also saw Zhong Duopan and walked over quickly. She was the spokesperson of Zhong Duopan's father's company. Naturally, she had seen Zhong Duopan several times at the company's parties and had some impression of him. Haha, Miss Cheng, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to help me, Zhong Duopan said as he extended his hand. Cheng Yi didn't have the intention to shake hands with him. It could be seen that she wasn't a casual person. So when she saw Zhong Duopan extend his hand, she very naturally passed her luggage to him and smiled. Then I'll have to trouble young Master Pan. Zhong Duopan was slightly stunned. He wanted to shake hands with Cheng Yi, but Cheng Yi seemed to have misunderstood his meaning. She gave him her luggage, as if she had taken the initiative to ask for help with the bag. However, Zhong Duopan naturally couldn't refuse. He only paused for a moment and took Cheng Yi's luggage. This is what I should do. However, his heart wasn't without regret. Although he knew that it wasn't very possible between him and Cheng Yi, this kind of thing wasn't something a rich young master like him could do. Moreover, it seemed that Cheng Yi wasn't the type of female celebrity that relied on this kind of method to make money and become famous. With Shu Shahan's halo, she didn't need to do these things at all. She could slowly become famous normally. However, Zhong Duopan still wanted to get closer to Cheng Yi. After all, he was also very lecherous. It was just that Cheng Yi didn't let him succeed, so he didn't continue. He didn't forget that the main purpose of inviting Cheng Yi was to please Hima Yu and compete with by way to awe. If he wanted to chase after Cheng Yi, then it would be putting the cart before the horse. In the end, it was very likely that he wouldn't be able to chase after Cheng Yi, and Hima Yu wouldn't be able to catch up. Therefore, he wasn't that impulsive. He pulled Cheng Yi's luggage and left the airport with her. They got on the Land Rover Aurora that was parked in the parking lot. Thank you so much this time. You really helped me out. Zhong Duopan got into the driver's seat and said to Cheng Yi, who was sitting in the back seat. It's okay. You're Mr. Zhong's son, and I'm the spokesperson of Mr. Zhong. This little bit of help is nothing. Cheng Yi said generously. However, young Master Pan said before that it might be a bit difficult to get first place in the singing category. Even if I'm a celebrity, your Donghai Industry University is one of the best universities in the province. There will always be someone stronger than you. Oh, that's right. Now that you mention this matter, I just remembered something very important. Zhong Duopan's face changed slightly and became very serious. It's like this. Originally, it wouldn't be a problem for us to get first place, but my opponent, the guy that I told you about, the guy that I want to beat, actually used his connections to invite your senior sister. My senior sister? Cheng Yi froze and didn't know how to react. It's Shu Shahan. Fan Ganhe added. They invited Shu Shahan too? Cheng Yi froze. How can my senior sister participate in this kind of small event? As far as I know, she basically doesn't participate in all kinds of events. Oh. Missy, you don't know about this. Zhong Duopan also froze. I'm also very confused. I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm asking you for confirmation. But looking at how confident they are, it seems like it's 80% true. Because their classmates said that they already video called Shu Shahan, and Shu Shahan already arranged a program for them in the video. If that's the case, then I'll ask. Cheng Yi nodded and took out her phone to call Shu Shahan. Because of Lin Yi's matter, Shu Shahan kept her phone with her and didn't leave it with her manager, Wang Jie. When the phone rang, she picked it up immediately. Why are you calling at this time? Shu Shahan was a bit confused. Why did Cheng Yi call so late at night? Senior sister, I just arrived in Donghai City. I heard that you're coming too? Cheng Yi asked. What? You're in Donghai City too? Shu Shahan was even more confused. I'm going to Donghai City tomorrow, but why are you in Donghai City too? And how do you know that I'm going too? Target =_blank. Chapter 1973. What a coincidence. I was invited by a friend to attend the freshman party of Donghai Industry University, but he said that you were also invited to help another class put on a show. So it's true. Cheng Yi said in surprise, Senior sister, I thought you never attend these kinds of events. Haha, this time it was a good friend who invited me, so I had no choice but to go. Shahan smiled. Plus, I've been too busy with work lately, it's good to go out and get some fresh air. Then aren't you afraid that you might get sick? Cheng Yi wanted to say that she had a headache, but then she remembered that there were outsiders in the car. Only the people in the company knew that Shahan had headaches. She was Shahan's junior sister, so of course she knew about it, but it was better to be subtle. Book C Pavilion Net. I have medicine, Miracle Dr. Guan's painkiller, you know. Shahan said. No wonder you support them so much. Cheng Yi nodded. Oh right, us sisters haven't played together in a long time, let's use this opportunity to go out and have some fun. That's good, I'm flying tomorrow afternoon. Which hotel are you staying at? I'll go find you. Book C Pavilion. Shu Shahan agreed without hesitation. She had a good relationship with this junior marshal sister. Both of them were pure girls, so Shu Shahan liked to hang out with her. As for the other stars in the company, some were jealous of Shahan's results, so they were fake when they hung out with her. Some were that type of girls, and Shahan didn't want to be too close with them. I haven't reached the hotel yet, I'm on the way. How about this? I'll book a double room, we can stay together. Cheng Yi said. Okay, but tomorrow I'll go with my bodyguard driver, Feng Sanhuang, you can book a room for him too. Shahan said. Ah, you're bringing a bodyguard driver? That's so inconvenient, there's only 2 of us girls, how are we going to stay if you bring a man? It'll be troublesome to go shopping. Cheng Yi complained, plus, we don't have a car, so we don't need to bring him, my friend here has a car. Plus, what danger would there be here? We're attending private events. That works too. Shu Shahan thought about it. Lin Yi had a car, but she wasn't going to bring a car, so San Huang wouldn't be of much use. She nodded. Then I'll go by myself. Ian, I'll wait for you. Cheng Yi said. After hanging up the phone, Cheng Yi shrugged and said to Zhong Duopan, young Master Pan, senior sister really came this time, so I'm afraid it's impossible for me to help you get first place. So, are we still going to participate in the performance? Of course. Zhong Duopan had already expected this result. He believed that Shu Shahan would come back tomorrow. He just wanted to confirm it with Cheng Yi. He wasn't too disappointed. Of course, if we can't get first place, it's because we're not as popular as your senior sister. It's not that we don't work hard, but if we don't participate, it's a matter of attitude. You're quite open-minded. I'll help you then. Cheng Yi nodded. The best hotel near the school was Shueshong Hotel. Zhong Duopan booked a double presidential suite for Cheng Yi here. It wasn't as luxurious as a 5-star hotel, but it was the best in this hotel. Luckily, Cheng Yi didn't mind it and checked in right away. Zhong Duopan didn't bother Cheng Yi anymore. He promised her that he would pick her up tomorrow and go to the school to rehearse the show. He then left the hotel. Shu Shahan originally planned to go to East Ocean City with Sister Wang and Feng Sanhuang, but Cheng Yi was there as well. She thought that Cheng Yi was right, and it was meaningless to bring a driver and manager to a private event. Therefore, she booked her own ticket online. In the ancient house of Feng, Feng Tianhu sat quietly on the bed. Feng Nitian's injuries were very serious. His meridians were all broken, and he was like a vegetable right now. He had fainted after the Ice Palace test and hadn't woken up since. House Feng had also stopped supplying Nitian with the best herbs and treasures. This was because in the ancient houses, profit was the most important thing. Nitian wouldn't be able to recover no matter how many treasures he ate. Even if he used the Great Recover Pill and the Meridian Opening Pill, he would only be able to become a normal healthy person, but the damaged meridians wouldn't be able to recover completely. It was impossible for him to continue practicing. Even the alchemists from the Sky Elixir sect couldn't do anything. And so, Feng Tianhu was very angry. Nitian was his only hope. Although he had a son, his son's potential was far from Nitian's. His son only knew how to enjoy life, and he wasn't a good cultivator at all. Of course, although House Feng had given up on Nitian, Feng Tianhu hadn't. On one hand, he sent people to find the person who hurt Nitian, and on the other hand, he sent people to find a miracle doctor or medicine that could cure Nitian. Of course, he knew that the resources he had were limited. If he wanted to find a large amount of medicine and cure Nitian at all costs, he had to climb up to the peak of power in House Feng. He had to become the young master of the house, and only then would he be able to use more resources. Only then would he be able to cure Nitian. Feng Tianlin, it's not your son who's injured, and yet you're making sarcastic remarks in a family meeting. If I don't cause you some trouble, then I'll be letting you off too easily. Feng Tianhu shook his head and said faintly. However, just as he finished speaking, the phone rang. Feng Tianhu picked it up, and it was a deep male voice. This man was called Feng Sanku, and he was Feng Tianhu's follower. He was also the spy he sent to the common world to gather information. He was one of the more outstanding third-generation disciples of House Feng, and he was at the peak of the late phase of the mystic class. Back then, the hidden houses had an agreement that Earth-class experts couldn't casually come out into the world. Although it was a rule set by the Hidden Houses, it was a condition set by the Hidden Houses Arbitration Association. The Grand Elder of the Hidden House was someone who could fight against the ancient sects, and the founder was even more terrifying. Even the ancient sects and ancient houses had to treat him with respect. Although he had already left, the ancient sects still didn't send any Earth-class experts to the common world because of his reputation. But now, it was different since the Hidden Houses had broken the rule and sent out their Earth-class masters without any punishment or restrictions. The Hidden House Association didn't do anything. Chapter 1974. Therefore, Feng Tianhu started to think about sending an Earth-rank master out as well. Sometimes, Feng Tianhu even wondered if the founder of the Hidden House Association was already dead. Otherwise, why hadn't there been any news for so many years? And not only that, even the Grand Elder had disappeared. Feng Tianhu shook his head and decided not to think about it. He picked up the phone and said, "Sanku, what's up?" "Boss, there's news. Xu Shihan went to Donghai City alone to participate in a private event. Feng Sanhuang won't be following, she's alone," Sanku said. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. "Okay, I got it. Your news is very timely, very good." Feng Tianhu sneered and hung up the phone. He thought to himself, "Second brother, this time I will let you have a taste of losing your own flesh and blood. He, if I tell this news to second sister-in-law, will she send someone to kill that girl?" Feng Sanhuang, who was beside Xu Shihan, was the same as Feng Sanku, an excellent third-generation disciple of the ancient Feng house. He was also at the peak of the late phase of the mystic class, but he was the follower of the current heir, Feng Tianlin, and Xu Shihan was Feng Tianlin's illegitimate daughter. With the help of Feng Tianlin, the young master of an ancient noble house, it was understandable that Xu Shihan's path to stardom was smooth sailing. Ancient noble houses were existences that even hidden noble houses didn't dare to offend. But Feng Tianlin had always thought that he was very secretive, and no one knew that Xu Shihan was his illegitimate daughter. But what he didn't know was that Feng Tianhu had already investigated this matter thoroughly, and not only did Feng Tianhu know, even Feng Tianlin's wife knew. The reason why Feng Tianlin's wife didn't make a move was because Xu Shihan was a girl, and it wouldn't affect her son's succession as the third head of the family. The other reason was because Feng Sanhuang was always by her side. It wasn't impossible for an ancient noble house to send an earth class to the common world, but there was an agreement between the hidden noble houses. She didn't want to go against that agreement just because of Xu Shihan. Sanhuang was a disciple of the Feng family, and he knew everyone in the Feng family. At that time, if they sent people to kill Xu Shihan but didn't kill Feng Sanhuang, then Feng Sanhuang would definitely report it to Feng Tianlin. Even Feng Tianlin's wife wouldn't dare to go too far. Book C Pavilion Net. But this time, it was a good opportunity. Feng Tianhu didn't mind causing some trouble for Feng Tianlin. At the same time, he could also deal a blow to Feng Tianlin so that he wouldn't have time to compete with him for the position of the head of the family. Thinking of this, Feng Tianhu got up and walked towards the second branch. The next morning, Lin Yi came out of the space in the jade pendant, feeling refreshed. He stretched his body. It was another beautiful day. The second stage of the art of dragon mastery was different from the increase in strength. The cultivation of the art of dragon mastery was a normal process of accumulating pure qi. Only through continuous accumulation of pure qi could one reach a higher level. However, there was no barrier like the level of strength. Perhaps it was because the first two stages were easier, but whether the later stages were easier or not, he didn't know. Anyway, every morning when Lin Yi came out of the space in the jade pendant, he could feel his improvement. Unknowingly, the second stage of the art of dragon mastery was about 1/5 of the progress, which was 20%. Lin Yi was quite satisfied with this progress. It hadn't been long and he was already 1/5 of the way. Although the speed wasn't uniform, it would get slower and slower, but it was still much easier than the first stage. Lin Yi washed his face and went to the kitchen. Most of the time, Lin Yi cooked breakfast himself. Although Grandma's son was there, Lin Yi was used to making breakfast for the Miss and Shu. It was a habit he brought with him from Songshan, and he couldn't change it even if he wanted to. Grandma's son sometimes saw Lin Yi making breakfast, so she didn't disturb him. When breakfast was ready, the Miss and Shu woke up. Yushu saw that it was Lin Yi who made breakfast today, and she was very happy. Wow, I haven't eaten Shield Bro's food in a long time. It's great that I have something to eat today. Ahem. Shoo. Meng Yaro gave Yushu a kick. Why was this girl talking so flirtatiously? It's been a long time since I've eaten Shield Bro's food. What do you want to eat? This reminded Meng Yaro of Jianwen's condor cake or something. What's wrong? Yaro, don't you like Shield Bro's breakfast? Yushu asked curiously. Why did you kick me? I'm just telling the truth. I like it too. Hurry up and eat. Meng Yaro didn't want to explain anymore. She sat down and picked up the chopsticks and started eating. That's weird. Why is Yaro acting crazy so early in the morning? Is she on her period? No, it's around the same time as me. We're together. I'm not on my period yet. Yushu mumbled to herself. Shoo, go play somewhere else if you're not eating. Meng Yaro almost went berserk after hearing Yushu's words. I'm eating, Yushu said. There were signs of her period coming, but why was it early? Could it be that Yaro sis had sex with Shield Bro secretly, and then took birth control pills? Yushu thought wickedly. After breakfast, Lin Yi and the other two got ready to go to school. They didn't want to call Han Jingjing and Xiao Chao, but their X5M wasn't back yet, so Lin Yi knocked on the fence of the villa, believing that Han Jingjing could hear them. As expected, Han Jingjing brought Han Xiao Chao out of the villa, but Han Jingjing's eyes were red as if she didn't sleep well the whole night. This surprised Lin Yi. Jingjing, what's wrong? You didn't sleep well? Meng Yaro saw Han Jingjing's face and asked curiously. I was studying alchemy last night, and I lost track of time. It's already morning, Han Jingjing said, a little embarrassed. You studied it the whole night. What did you find out? Meng Yaro asked, surprised. She didn't think that a girl like Han Jingjing would be so interested in alchemy. I didn't find anything. Han Jingjing felt even more embarrassed when she said that. Meng Yaro paused, not knowing what to say. Lin Yi, on the other hand, smiled bitterly and shook his head. It seemed that Han Jingjing was also a dabbler, thinking the same thing whenever she wanted. After driving to school, they separated at the parking lot. Lin Yi and Han Jingjing walked to the biology building. Chapter 1975. Lin Yi bro, do you know how to cultivate a refinement fire? Han Jingjing asked excitedly as they walked. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. I don't know, Lin Yi said. Looks like I'll have to go buy a training manual, Han Jingjing said. Buy one. Lin Yi was speechless. Right, I'll ask Mr. Bai later, see if he knows where to buy it. Han Jingjing clenched her fist as if she had just thought of a good idea. When he arrived at the classroom, the students in the class were excitedly discussing the program for the freshman party. Bai Weituo, on the other hand, was excitedly rehearsing with a few minor characters according to the music video on his phone. He looked like he was in full swing. Wang Xinyan, on the other hand, sat in her seat, quietly reading her book, as if this had nothing to do with her. She was the same as Lin Yi, acting as an extra in the show, so she didn't need to rehearse. All she had to do was sit in her seat and sing a few harmonies. Lin Yi walked over and sat beside Wang Xinyan, while Han Jingjing sat behind them. The only two girls in the class didn't want to be the main character. This made Bai Weituo feel helpless, but there was nothing he could do. One of the girls had an ambiguous relationship with Lin Yi, and the other didn't seem to be interested in Xu Shahan. This made Bai Weituo helpless. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. Seeing Lin Yi come in, she could only walk over and beg, Lin bro, can you give me one? Give you what? Lin Yi blinked. A beauty. Bai Weituo said. Beauty. Lin Yi looked at Xinyan, then at Han Jingjing. You're letting them act in the show? Lin Yi is so smart, that's right. Bai Weituo nodded. You too, who wants to act? Lin Yi asked. I'll be like you, a cameo. Xinyan said faintly as she flipped through the textbook in her hand. What about you? Lin Yi turned to look at Han Jingjing. However, Han Jingjing did not answer directly. Instead, she turned to look at Bai Weituo and asked, do you know alchemy? Quack. Bai Weituo was surprised. He didn't expect Han Jingjing to bring up this topic. He hesitated for a moment, but he still shook his head and said, I won't, Oh, then forget it. I want to study alchemy. I don't have time. Han Jingjing shook her head and rejected Bai Weituo's suggestion. Book C Pavilion, Net. Bai Weituo sighed. He wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't. He smiled bitterly at Lin Yi and continued to lead the students to rehearse. But the good thing was that even if there weren't two girls as the main characters, there was still Xu Shahan, the female lead. So when these guys surrounded her, it was like stars surrounding the moon. It was a different kind of charm. When it was about 8 o'clock, Boss Bai walked into the classroom. Bai Weituo also stopped rehearsing. After seeing Boss Bai, he quickly said, Professor Bai. In school, Bai Weituo always called Boss Bai Professor Bai or Teacher Bai. You guys are rehearsing? Boss Bai saw the lively scene in the classroom and asked. Yes, Professor Bai. Bai Weituo nodded and said. In that case, we'll cancel the classes in the morning. You guys can continue with your rehearsals. There are no classes today and tomorrow. You guys should strive to get a good ranking for our Faculty of Medicine during the freshmen's evening party tomorrow night. Boss Bai directly made the decision to cancel the class. Our medical major hasn't won an award for several years. It's all because of that little bastard Bai Weikai. His ability is too weak. You're not bad. Actually, it's all Brother Lin's credit. Bai Weituo didn't dare to take all the credit and quickly said. Oh. Boss Bai looked at Lin Yi deeply and said to him, Lin Yi, after the freshman party, come find me. Have you thought about what I told you before? Before? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. He thought that Boss Bai was going to teach him some special medical skills, but what exactly was this medical skill? At this moment, Lin Yi's view of Boss Bai was completely different. Before, in Lin Yi's opinion, no matter how powerful Boss Bai was, he was just a character similar to Old Man Lin. However, since Lin Yi saw Yu Coiling Tiger's respect for Boss Bai and his respectful and serious attitude in class, it made Lin Yi feel that Boss Bai was really not ordinary. The Hidden Yu family was a big hidden family in alchemy and medicine. Their children were actually studying here so humbly, so how could Boss Bai be ordinary? After listening to Boss Bai's class, Lin Yi also had a refreshing feeling. Many of Boss Bai's theories were different from Old Man Lin's. Although both of them were right, their directions were different, which broadened Lin Yi's thinking a lot and increased his knowledge a lot. Just the basic knowledge was already like this, so what special medical skills would Boss Bai be talking about? Thinking of this, Lin Yi couldn't help but look forward to it. Thinking back to the beginning, Lin Yi didn't take it seriously, but now it seemed that he had underestimated Boss Bai. Okay, after the freshman party, I'll find a time to go and find you. Lin Yi nodded and said. Hearing Lin Yi agree, Boss Bai chuckled and was very happy in his heart. He thought, kid, weren't you not interested in it at the beginning? Now after listening to a few of my classes, you think it's different, right? Although he didn't know why Boss Bai was looking for Lin Yi, after Yu Coiling Tiger heard it, a look of envy and jealousy flashed across his eyes. He had wanted to visit Boss Bai alone for a long time, but he never had the chance. He didn't expect Boss Bai to take the initiative to invite Lin Yi to find him. This made Yu Coiling Tiger think if he should also visit after the freshman party. Boss Bai didn't invite him, but if he went, he couldn't drive him away, right? After Boss Bai finished speaking, he turned around and left, while Bai Weituo continued to rehearse with the students. Yu Coiling Tiger and his two color-haired subordinates didn't perform or cause trouble, so they sat there as ordinary extras like Lin Yi. Bai Weituo knew that these three guys were not sociable, so he didn't deliberately ask them to do anything. In fact, if it weren't for Boss Bai, Yu Coiling Tiger wouldn't even bother to participate. But in Boss Bai's territory, he wanted to learn more knowledge, so he naturally couldn't go too far. If he didn't participate, wouldn't it be disrespecting Boss Bai? Moreover, it wasn't troublesome to act as an extra. All he had to do was sit there and hum a few times to harmonize. It was quite simple. The morning passed quickly, and it was time for lunch break. Chapter 1976. Xu Shahan's flight was at 1 p.m., and Lin Yi was going to the airport to pick her up. Lin Yi told Xinyan about it and sent a message to Miss and Xu before driving to the airport. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. It was around 11 p.m., and it would be about time for Lin Yi to reach the airport. Of course, other than Lin Yi's car, there was also a Land Rover Aurora. It was driven by Zhong Duopan, and he brought Cheng Yi to the airport. At the arrival gate, Lin Yi accidentally saw Zhong Duopan and a girl with sunglasses. Zhong Duopan also saw Lin Yi, and he was even more certain that Xu Shahan was invited by Lin Yi. Because in room 444, only Lin Yi had a car. Although it looked low-key, only he had the ability to do so. It seemed like it was true. Since they saw each other, and they had the same goal, Zhong Duopan naturally put on a fake smile and walked over. "Isn't this Lin Yi? What's wrong, coming to the airport to pick someone up?" Lin Yi was confused when he saw Zhong Duopan, and he looked at the girl beside him. Lin Yi immediately guessed something. Was this girl the coffee girl, Cheng Yi? But Lin Yi didn't follow celebrities, and he didn't even know the famous Xu Shahan. How could he know a small celebrity who just debuted? But since she was Xu Shahan's junior, it was normal for her to pick Xu Shahan up. "Aren't you asking the obvious?" Lin Yi said faintly. "Mph, what's so great about inviting Xu Shahan? Even if he won, it's not by Wei Tuo's strength. He Mayu might not admit it, and the bet won't count." Zhong Duopan's face changed. He couldn't beat Xu Shahan in the freshman party, and so Zhong Duopan started to push the blame away. "Really? I don't know who broke the rules first and invited a celebrity. If you didn't invite them, we naturally wouldn't have invited them either." Lin Yi looked at Zhong Duopan with a smile that wasn't a smile. This kid really didn't keep his word. Now he was going back on his words. Zhong Duopan was rendered speechless by Lin Yi, but what Lin Yi said was right. Indeed, he invited the celebrity first, so he couldn't say anything. He could only snort and say, "Since relying on others doesn't count, then everyone doesn't count. Heh, it's useless for you to say this to me. You can talk to He Mayu," Lin Yi said indifferently. Book C Pavilion, Net. Whether or not Zhong Duopan went back on his word had nothing to do with Lin Yi. If he wanted to shamelessly go back on his word, then Lin Yi couldn't do anything about it. At most, he could let Bai Weituo talk to He Mayu. "Don't think that you invited Xu Shahan. Let me tell you, Xu Shahan will leave with Cheng Yi later. I think you came here for nothing." Zhong Duopan snorted. "Oh," Lin Yi replied. Seeing that Lin Yi didn't care about him, Zhong Duopan was even angrier. He felt like he was playing the lute to a cow. He snorted and walked towards Cheng Yi, ignoring Lin Yi. After a while, Xu Shahan's flight information was broadcasted. The flight had already landed, and there would probably be passengers coming out in a while. Sure enough, not long after, a group of people walked out of the exit. In this group, there was a person wearing a black trench coat, a black cap, oversized sunglasses, and an oversized scarf. If it wasn't for the figure, it was hard to tell whether it was a man or a woman. This person was obviously Xu Shahan. She was much more disguised than Cheng Yi, but Xu Shahan was much more famous than Cheng Yi, so her armor was much tighter. Cheng Yi was more familiar with Xu Shahan. She immediately recognized Xu Shahan and waved at her. "Han sis. Hee. Shahan also saw Cheng Yi and nodded to her with a smile. Cheng Yi didn't call Xu Shahan by her name. She only called her sister Han, so no one in the airport would think too much about it. Xu Shahan also saw Lin Yi not far away. She was a bit surprised that Lin Yi came to pick her up. She thought that Lin Yi wouldn't come because this guy never came to pick her up. Whether she came to endorse products or to support Lin Yi's products, she came by herself. So this time, she didn't think that Lin Yi would come to pick her up. "Lin Yi, you actually came?" Xu Shahan was very surprised. "Ian, you didn't bring a driver this time, nor did you bring a manager." "Of course, I came to pick you up." Lin Yi nodded. "How rare. Then let's go, I'm staying at Shueshong Hotel. Already booked a room for me," Xu Shahan said. Xu Shahan's words obviously meant that she was going to leave with Lin Yi. This made Zhong Duopan feel a bit embarrassed. He just swore to Lin Yi that he came for nothing, but from the looks of it, Xu Shahan seemed to be very friendly towards Lin Yi. What was the relationship between these two? It didn't seem to be a simple hire. "Senior sister, take our car later," Let's go to the hotel directly. We don't need to trouble your friend, right? Cheng Yi saw that Zhong Duopan was unhappy, and she didn't mind helping him. This was just a small matter to her. No need, I'll take Lin Yi's car. Xu Shahan smiled and said, see you at the hotel later. That's fine too. Cheng Yi was also slightly dazed. Xu Shahan actually rejected. What was the relationship between her and Lin Yi? Normally, in the company, when attending events, Xu Shahan would often ride in the same car as her. Even if they weren't in the same car, Xu Shahan would gladly agree if she invited her, but today, Xu Shahan rejected. Seeing that Cheng Yi was rejected, Zhong Duopan's face darkened even more. It seemed that picking her up at the airport was a bit unnecessary. Out of the airport, the two cars went on the highway one after another. Zhong Duopan was unhappy and didn't wait for Lin Yi. He stepped on the gas and the car flew out, speeding all the way back to the hotel. What is the relationship between that Lin Yi and Xu Shahan? Why does he look like a good person? He doesn't even give you face. Zhong Duopan was very unhappy and complained. Hihi, maybe they're very good friends. Cheng Yi wasn't angry and instead sent a text. The signal here doesn't seem to be very good. There might be a shield near the airport. Zhong Duopan said, you want to use a phone? You can use mine. I have a signal. Thanks, no need. I'll just send a text and tell the people in the company that I've picked up senior sister. Cheng Yi waved her hand and said. Chapter 1977. Looks like Xu Shahan really wanted to help them. Now I don't even have the slightest bit of confidence. This is so annoying. Zhong Duopan said. Book C Pavilion Net. There's nothing we can do about it. Sister Han is a big shot. It's good enough that we got second prize. Cheng Yi didn't care. Lin Yi didn't care about Zhong Duopan's speed at all. He didn't even chase after him. Instead, he drove at a constant speed on the airport highway. Under normal circumstances, Lin Yi wouldn't break the rules if it wasn't something important. Thank you for coming to our classes program despite your busy schedule. Lin Yi said to Xu Shahan. Now I know that your appearance fee isn't low. Cheng Yi has connections, and she asked for 200,000. You're asking for more than her, right? That's right. Normally, I wouldn't go even if they paid me 1 or 2 million, Xu Shahan said. I'm here because of you. It seems like my face is quite big. Lin Yi said. That's right. Do you think I'd go if someone asked me? Not to mention not paying, I wouldn't go even if they paid. Xu Shahan said. Ha! Lin Yi smiled, but his face suddenly changed. The smile on his face turned serious as he said to Shahan, Danger, don't move. Xu Shahan was startled. She didn't know what Lin Yi was talking about. But at the same time, 2 black Audi A6 dashed through the iron fence in the middle of the road. The iron fence was not far from Lin Yi's car, and the 2 A6 quickly stopped in front of Lin Yi's car. This sudden change made Xu Shahan scream. Lin Yi seemed to be very calm and stopped the car. Behind Lin Yi, 2 Audi A6 drove over, sandwiching Lin Yi's car in the middle. Lin Yi couldn't move forward or backward. The reason why Lin Yi knew there was danger was because of the warning signal from the Jade. So Lin Yi knew in advance that danger was coming. Don't move in the car. Lin Yi looked at one of the 2 Audi A6 and frowned. The other 3 cars didn't matter to him, but the person in this car surprised Lin Yi. A mystic late-phase peak. Although to Lin Yi, this was nothing. He was already an Earth-class master. Mystic class masters were like ants in his eyes. It was easy to stomp them to death. But this wasn't so simple. Who was the one who sent this mystic class late-phase peak? Lin Yi didn't think that it was sent by his enemies. Unless they were stupid, they wouldn't send a mystic late-phase peak master to die. Last time, there were 3 Earth-class masters, and one of them was a late-phase Earth-class master, but Lin Yi burned them to ashes. Would they dare to send a mystic? That wasn't realistic. Book C Pavilion Net. But if it wasn't sent by them, then who sent it? Could it be a robbery? But robbery? He hadn't heard of a robbery on the highway at the airport. And Lin Yi's car was very low-key. It was a Grand Cherokee. It didn't blink. Lin Yi clearly saw a Rolls-Royce drive by, but he didn't see them rob it. And if it was just a simple robbery, wouldn't it be too wasteful to send a mystic late-phase peak master? But all these guesses were pointless. After Lin Yi told Shu Shahan, he got out of the car. The mystic late-phase peak master didn't move. Instead, 3 men in black suits got out of the other 3 cars. They pointed their guns at Lin Yi. "Kid, tell the people in the car to get out. Otherwise, don't blame us for shooting you." People in the car? Lin Yi was startled. Were these people trying to kidnap Shu Shahan? It didn't seem like they were targeting him. Otherwise, no matter how powerful an enemy was, they wouldn't send 3 normal people with guns to aim at an Earth-class master, unless they were crazy. "Shut up and do it," a man in black scolded. "You're here for Shu Shahan? Who sent you? Tell me, and I won't kill you." Lin Yi looked at the man in black and said indifferently, "Ha! Kid, you want to kill us?" The man in black thought that he had misheard and immediately laughed loudly. "You mean, you can kill us? Is that so?" "Yes, since you missed the chance, there's no need to say any more." Lin Yi's hand shook, and a silver needle shot out, sinking into the man's chest. The man didn't even make a sound before falling to the ground. Lin Yi didn't even need to use pure qi to kill the man in black because he was just a normal person. At most, he was a cultivator who had just stepped into the door of martial arts. He wasn't even a golden class master. The other 2 people sucked in a breath of cold air. They didn't think that this person would do it without any hesitation. The scariest thing was that they didn't see it clearly. They didn't know how Lin Yi killed the man in black. "Hiss, you, who are you?" one of the 2 men in black asked. "It's your turn." "Who sent you?" Lin Yi asked. "Who are you? Why are you here?" The man in black asked nervously. "You've also lost your value." Lin Yi shook his wrist, and the second man in black fell to the ground. You. The third man in black was stunned. He still did not know how his 2 companions died, so he subconsciously stuttered a little. After saying the word "you" a few times, he hurriedly looked at the Audi A6 beside him and said, "Brother Sanlei, there's something wrong, please save me quickly." Actually, there was no need for the third man to speak. The man in black in the Audi A6 couldn't sit still anymore. He opened the door and got out of the car. It was a man wearing a black mask. The 3 people before didn't have their faces covered. Only a pair of cold eyes could be seen. He looked at Lin Yi coldly and said condescendingly, "It seems that he values Miss Shu quite a bit. He also sent a driver here. But your strength isn't enough. Although you have flying needles, you haven't cultivated pure qi yet. You can't use the natural qi around you. It seems that you're not a cultivator. Who sent you here?" "My patience is limited," Lin Yi said indifferently. Although Lin Yi wasn't afraid of trouble, it was obvious that this was the airport highway. There were a lot of cars coming and going. Lin Yi was afraid that Shu Shahan's identity would be exposed. So, Lin Yi wanted to end this quickly. Chapter 1978. This palm was very casual. In his eyes, this palm could easily kill Lin Yi, but he didn't expect that Lin Yi also pushed out a palm as if he wanted to take this attack head-on. Moreover, Lin Yi's expression was like a smile that wasn't a smile, as if he wasn't afraid of this palm at all. Although the man in black was a bit confused, he didn't think too much about it. He naturally knew that this was a main road. Although he was from an ancient noble house and wasn't afraid of ordinary people, some things couldn't be overdone. After all, there was an ancient agreement. Bang! The 2 palms collided, and a muffled sound was heard. This sound made the black-clothed man relax, because he couldn't feel much power from Lin Yi at all. It seemed that Lin Yi was just a normal person. He had thought too much. However, in the next moment, the black-clothed man was stunned. Because, from Lin Yi's palm, a huge wave of qi suddenly came, instantly entering his meridians. In an instant, he felt as if a wave of qi that could topple mountains and overturn the seas surged over, breaking all the meridians in the black-clothed man's body. You're an early-stage Earth class. The man in black widened his eyes in disbelief. He didn't think that there would be an Earth class beside Shu Shahan. Could it be that Feng Tianlin really valued Shu Shahan that much? Thinking up to here, Feng Sanlei suddenly felt a little sad. He was the subordinate of Feng Tianlin's wife. The reason he came here was to secretly kill Xu Shahan. This time, he got the news from the third son of Feng family, Feng Tianhu. He thought that without Feng Sanhuang, Feng Sanlei could easily kill Xu Shahan, but Feng Sanlei smiled bitterly in his heart. He wanted to spread the news that there was a master beside Xu Shahan, but he knew that it was just wishful thinking. In front of an Earth-class master, running away was just wishful thinking. Plus, if he was caught by Lin Yi, and if he were to be interrogated, then the situation would be unbearable. Thinking up to here, Feng Sanlei suddenly had a sudden burst of energy. He used all the strength in his body and slapped towards the remaining man in black, easily killing him. Then, he waved his hand and slapped towards his own face. Bang! The masked man's head was smashed by himself. His brain was broken beyond recognition, and his entire head had exploded. It was very disgusting. Lin Yi was secretly on guard. He was afraid that he would harm Xu Shahan at the last moment, but he didn't think that this guy would kill his own people and then commit suicide. This kind of strange situation caught Lin Yi off guard. Originally, Lin Yi didn't kill him. Instead, he injured him to bring him back and interrogate him. He wanted to know who sent this guy. But this masked man was very decisive. He killed the only survivor of his own group and then committed suicide. It was a very cruel way to commit suicide. Looking at the mask of the masked man, and then looking at his broken head, Lin Yi vaguely guessed his purpose. He masked his face, which meant that he didn't want anyone to see or recognize him. He committed suicide in this way to destroy his own head so that no one would be able to recognize him. This person was very loyal. As for the other small fries who weren't practitioners, they probably weren't important people. He wouldn't be able to find anything from their faces. Thinking of this, Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. It seemed that he was a bit careless. He only thought about Xu Shahan's safety. He didn't think that the masked man would commit suicide. But it was already like this. Lin Yi couldn't do anything. Although it happened very fast, almost 2 to 3 minutes, Lin Yi saw the cars coming from behind and behind. He didn't dare to delay anymore. He ran to the 2 Audi A6 in front of the car and slapped them to the side of the road. Then, he quickly jumped into the Grand Cherokee and stepped on the accelerator. Xu Shahan's face was very pale. Although she was in the car, she heard everything that happened outside. She also knew that these 4 people came for her. But who sent these 4 people? What was their purpose? Although Xu Shahan had experienced similar kidnappings before, it wasn't as thrilling as this. The criminals' plans were all killed in the cradle by the police, and the people she faced weren't as vicious as this. In the end, they chose to commit suicide in such a cruel way. You're not scared, right? Lin Yi, on the other hand, had been through too many dangerous situations. What happened just now wasn't dangerous at all in his eyes. He'd even been stopped by the blood-clothed Yellow Springs sect before, and he'd even been beaten by 3 Earth-class Book C Pavilion F equals therefore, what happened just now seemed too ordinary. It's okay. Xu Shahan patted her chest. Her chest rose and fell, but it betrayed her true thoughts. She was indeed very nervous. Who did you offend recently? Lin Yi asked. These people are obviously coming for you. I offended anyone? I don't think so. Xu Shahan shook her head. If you want to talk about a sinner, it would be Dr. Kang's medical company. Last time, I attended your product launch. Other than that, I didn't offend anyone. Kang family, impossible. Lin Yi denied this possibility. If they want to find someone, they should be looking for me. Plus, they wouldn't send such a weak person. Then I really can't think of who I offended. Xu Shahan seriously thought about it. Forget it, don't think about it. Give me that Feng Sanhuang's number. Lin Yi said. Feng Sanhuang? Why do you want his number? Xu Shahan was dazed. He's your driver. He follows you everywhere you go. I'll ask him to help me think. Lin Yi didn't say much to Xu Shahan. Intuition told Lin Yi that Feng Sanhuang should be the person protecting Xu Shahan. The masked man also said that he didn't think that there would be someone protecting Xu Shahan here. In other words, Xu Shahan also had someone protecting her over there. The only possibility was Feng Sanhuang. So, Lin Yi planned to tell this to Feng Sanhuang. He wanted him to investigate and see if Xu Shahan had offended anyone. Oh, okay. Xu Shahan didn't think much about it. She nodded and told Lin Yi Feng Sanhuang's number. Lin Yi wrote down the number. He didn't call in front of Xu Shahan. Instead, he called young Huaijuan. Captain Eagle, are you looking for me? Huaijuan picked up the phone. Chapter 1979. Yup, Junzi, just now on the airport highway, 4 Audi cars intercepted me. 2 of them were killed by me, and the other 2 committed suicide. Bring some men to control these corpses first. I'm afraid they'll destroy the evidence, Lin Yi said worriedly. Since the masked man could commit suicide in such a way, Lin Yi was afraid that there would be people coming to take the bodies away. What? Someone blocked you? Huaijuan paused. What's going on? Which force is it? Noble House or? If it's someone from Noble House, it's best to let the investigation department do it. I don't know yet, but they're mystic late phase peak. Lin Yi said. Then I'll tell Captain Feng Tianlong there's a practitioner. They should be the ones to deal with it, Huaijuan said. All right, Lin Yi nodded. Shahan, on the other hand, was confused. She didn't know what a mystic late phase peak was. What was a practitioner? She'd never come into contact with these things before. She'd heard Meng Yaro and Yushu talking about Xiao Xiao before, and Tang Yun. Shahan sighed as she thought of this girl. He drove Shahan to the hotel, and no one blocked them on the way. It seemed like there were only 4 cars blocking them, but Lin Yi didn't let his guard down. He parked the car below the hotel, preparing to send Shahan up personally. He was the one who invited Shahan, so Lin Yi had the responsibility to protect her. Whether or not these people came for Shahan, Lin Yi had to protect her. If something happened, even Lin Yi wouldn't be able to forgive himself. Right, how are you so strong? Shahan was still in a state of fear, and now that she calmed down, she finally remembered. How was Lin Yi so strong? Not only did he kill 2 of them silently, but the other 2 were killed by his accomplice, and the other one committed suicide. It's all right, Lin Yi said faintly. When we get to the room, it's best not to mention these things. Ian, don't worry, your classmate is here, I won't say anything. Xu Shahan nodded. Lin Yi wanted to tell Cheng Yi not to talk about it, but after thinking about it, he didn't say anything. After all, she was Xu Shahan's junior apprentice sister. It was their own business. The 2 walked into the hotel lobby. Xu Shahan took out her phone and called Cheng Yi. Senior sister? Have you arrived? Cheng Yi was surprised to hear Xu Shahan's voice. The radio just said there was a series of car accidents on the highway. Didn't you guys get stuck in traffic? We didn't. Xu Shahan hesitated but didn't say anything. After all, Zhong Duopan was Lin Yi's classmate. That's good. You scared me to death. I was still scared at the time. How good would it be if you took our car? Xu Shahan said. Haha, it's fine. Shahan smiled. Which room are you in? I'll go up now. I'm in room 1108. You guys can take the elevator up. Cheng Yi said. Lin Yi and Xu Shahan got in the elevator and went all the way to Cheng Yi's room. What surprised Lin Yi was that Zhong Duopan wasn't in room 1108. Instead, he got a room in room 1105. Obviously, Cheng Yi didn't want him in her room. If she wanted to talk, she would go to his room 1105. But Zhong Duopan was rich, so he didn't mind. You go in, I won't go. I'll wait for you outside. Lin Yi saw this and didn't follow. Okay. Xu Shahan also knew Cheng Yi's temper. Her room was usually only used by a few close sisters in the company and her manager. There was no one else. Lin Yi glanced at Zhong Duopan in the opposite room. The kid was on the phone. He didn't care about him. He turned and walked to the safe passage at the end of the corridor and called Feng Sanhuang. Hello, who are you looking for? Feng Sanhuang looked at the unfamiliar number and asked politely. Feng Sanhuang? Lin Yi asked. It's me, you are. Feng Sanhuang was secretly on guard. This person knew his name, but he still didn't know his identity. This person was definitely someone he wasn't familiar with, and it was impossible that Feng Sanhuang didn't have the phone number of someone he was familiar with, and it was impossible that he couldn't recognize his voice. Shu Shahan's bodyguard? Lin Yi continued to ask. Who are you? Feng Sanhuang was even more shocked. No one knew that he was Shu Shahan's bodyguard. Even Shu Shahan herself didn't know about it. So when Lin Yi revealed his identity, he panicked a little. It seems like my guess was right. Lin Yi said. I'm Lin Yi. Earlier at the airport, there was a mystic class late phase peak who attacked us. I crippled him. I wanted to bring him back for interrogation, but he committed suicide. The way he did it was very disgusting. As he spoke, Lin Yi told Feng Sanhuang what happened. Feng Sanhuang was relieved when he heard that it was Lin Yi. Lin Yi saw through his strength and knew that he was Shu Shahan's bodyguard. But what shocked him was that there was someone who intercepted Shu Shahan. And in this period of time, Lin Yi seemed to have gotten even stronger. He could easily cripple a mystic class late phase peak. The last time he saw him, he was weaker than him. He wasn't even at the peak of mystic class late phase peak. But now, I didn't expect this. Brother Lin, thank you so much. Feng Sanhuang said gratefully. My flight tonight is to Donghai City. Please take care of Miss Shu's safety. Please. When Feng Sanhuang knew that Shu Shahan was coming to East Ocean City on his own, he booked a plane ticket with her. However, he was still one flight behind Shu Shahan. Shu Shahan's flight was at noon, and he was going to take the night flight. He didn't expect that something would happen in such a short time. He was sent by Feng Tianlin to protect Shu Shahan. If Shu, book Ocean Pavilion soonest update F equals if something happened to Shahan, even if Feng Sanhuang died, he wouldn't be able to escape the blame. So he called Lin Yi brother Lin. Of course, this was also because of Lin Yi's increase in strength. To be able to cripple a mystic class late phase peak meant that Lin Yi was at least at the peak of mystic class late phase peak. You're coming too? That's great. You can go investigate these people's background. Lin Yi said. As for Shu Shahan's safety, you don't need to worry. With me by her side, nothing will happen. All right, thanks for the trouble. Feng Sanhuang said respectfully again. Target equals _blank. Chapter 1980. Then I'll hang up first. Book C Pavilion. Lin Yi listened to Feng Sanhuang's pleading tone. He had no doubt that he was the one protecting Shu Shahan in the dark, but which force did he belong to? Why was he protecting Shu Shahan? What was Shu Shahan's identity? Of course, this had nothing to do with Lin Yi, and Lin Yi didn't want to know at the moment. He and Shu Shahan could only be considered as good friends at the moment. It wasn't convenient for him to ask. Not long after Lin Yi hung up, Shu Shahan also came out. She came out with Cheng Yi. Lin Yi, let's go to school to rehearse. Don't waste time, Yi is going too. Shu Shahan waved to Lin Yi. Okay. Lin Yi walked over quickly. Zhong Duopan also came out of his room at this time. He didn't expect to see Fan Ganhe in his room. He just came. Lin Yi didn't see him before. Zhong Duopan was a bit annoyed when he saw Lin Yi, but Fan Ganhe was even more annoyed. He liked Wang Xinyan. Naturally, he wouldn't give Lin Yi any face. From Fan Ganhe's point of view, Lin Yi was the typical type of bastard who stood in the toilet but didn't shit. He always said that he had nothing to do with Wang Xinyan, but when they went out, they were still very close. Isn't this Lin Yi? Why didn't you bring Wang Xinyan? Could it be that you want to be alone with the superstar, and don't want anyone else? Fan Ganhe saw Lin Yi and wanted to say something sarcastic. Oh. Lin Yi responded. He didn't even look at him. Fuck. Fan Ganhe was infuriated. This was blatant disregard. Quarrel with people. He wasn't afraid of people scolding him back. He was afraid that people wouldn't even care about him, and his efforts would be in vain. He wanted to say something, but Lin Yi and Shu Shahan were already walking towards the elevator. Fan Ganhe gritted his teeth, but it was useless. Whatever, Ganhe, there will be plenty of opportunities to deal with this kid. I plan to invite He Mayu and her roommates to Tiger Park this weekend. We'll think of a way to humiliate them. Zhong Duopan sneered. He had no chance of winning at the freshman party, but he didn't plan to give up on He Mayu, so he had to proceed to the next step. Okay. Listen to Brother Zhong. When the time comes, think of a way to teach them a lesson. Fan Ganhe nodded. In the teaching building of the biology department, in the classroom of the medicine department, the students were rehearsing the actions in the music video in full swing. And Yi walked in with Shu Shahan, 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 Shahan Shu, Shahan, Ju, 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 Shan, up. Shahan. Seeing how serious everyone was, Shu Shahan was a little surprised. She originally thought that it would be very difficult to bring a group of non-professional students to recreate the scene of the music video, but now it seemed that a lot of people were already doing it well. Her. Bai Weituo also felt someone coming, but he didn't pay attention. He raised his head and saw a fully armed girl next to Lin Yi. Shu Shahan. He paused for a moment, but immediately guessed what was going on. He. Hello everyone. Shahan smiled and waved at Bai Weituo when she saw that someone recognized her. Hearing this heavenly voice, all the boys who were rehearsing stopped what they were doing. When they saw the person at the door, they couldn't help but widen their eyes. Someone cheered, Shu Shahan is here. Ah, Shu Shahan is here, it's really Shu Shahan. Shu Shahan, I love you so much, Lin Yi sweated. He quickly locked the classroom door. If the other students found out, they wouldn't need to rehearse anymore. They'd all come to see the celebrity. Everyone, quiet down. You guys are so loud. The students from the other classes would probably hear it. At that time, Fang Qiu at that time, I'm afraid we won't be able to rehearse anymore. Shahan smiled and made a shushing gesture. Needless to say, the power of a celebrity was not just for show. Just one gesture and the noisy classroom quieted down. Shu Shahan, hello, I'm the class leader of the medical course, Bai Weituo. I'm also Brother Lin's follower. Bai Weituo ran in front of Shahan and introduced himself. Hello. Since you're the class leader, tell me, how's your rehearsal going? In order to save time, I'll see your progress first and then decide on the next step, okay? Shahan heard that Bai Weituo was Lin Yi's follower, so her attitude towards him was very gentle, which made Bai Weituo feel very flattered. Shahan didn't have the air of a celebrity at all. This surprised all the students. They didn't expect Lin Yi to be so powerful. Not only did he invite Shahan, but she was also very polite and kind. Even Right Coiling Tiger was very jealous. He cursed in his heart. What kind of ability did this Lin Yi have to make Shahan look at him in a different light? Okay, I'll tell you now. Bai Weituo quickly nodded. Lin Yi didn't listen to Bai Weituo's introduction anymore. He went back to his seat. The rehearsal had nothing to do with him anymore. Lin Yi didn't care. You don't follow celebrities. Lin Yi looked at Wang Xinyan in surprise. He realized that every time he saw her, she was always so quiet. Quiet like a pool of water, without any emotion. From the moment Lin Yi entered the classroom, Wang Xinyan had been flipping through the textbook in front of her. When Lin Yi sat down, she only raised her head and smiled at Lin Yi. Then, she continued reading. I like her songs. Most of the songs in my MP3 are her songs, but Xinyan shook her head, a little regretful. I want to, but I don't have that much time to waste. I want to enjoy my university life as much as I can with the limited time I have. Limited time? Lin Yi was startled. He remembered the engagement between her and Zhaolong. He opened his mouth to say something, but closed it again. What identity should he use to make Wang Xinyan reject the engagement with House Kang? There are some things that you can't fight against. When you can't fight against it, you can only accept your fate. Wang Xinyan's expression seemed calm, but Lin Yi knew that not many people would be calm in this kind of situation. But Lin Yi didn't know what to say. He could only take it one step at a time. If he could destroy House Kang as soon as possible, Wang Xinyan would be able to relax a lot. What surprised Lin Yi was that Han Jingjing was also lying on the table, studying something. She was writing and drawing on the notebook in front of her. There were a lot of numbers and formulas. It made Lin Yi dizzy. To be continued. If you like this work, I welcome you to come to Starting Point and vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1981. This girl can't be an alien, right? How can her thoughts be so weird? Lin Yi shook his head and didn't bother with her. Lin Yi was afraid that if he asked a random question, It would attract more questions. Wouldn't that be asking for trouble? Jong Duopan was from the economics department. At this moment, his class was also busy rehearsing. But Jong Duopan wasn't in a good mood. In comparison, his classmates were quite happy. Although they couldn't perform with a top star like Xu Shahan, Cheng Yi was still a rising star. Even if they couldn't get first place, getting second place was already quite an honor. Many classes wanted to get into the top 10 but couldn't. Because they didn't have a bet with Jong Duopan, they were more relaxed. On the other hand, Jong Duopan was depressed. He originally wanted to play a supporting role, but he didn't want to anymore. Going up was equivalent to embarrassing himself. It was better to be an inconspicuous cameo. Fan Ganhe didn't participate in his class's program. He was Jong Duopan's follower, so naturally, he would follow Jong Duopan. Jong bro, how about tonight? I find a gunny sack and put it on by Wei Tuo's head. We'll beat him until he can't take care of himself. That way, he won't go on stage, and the program won't be his anymore. Doesn't that mean we'll win? Fan Ganhe suggested. What do you mean by can't take care of himself? Are you stupid? If he gets beaten up, the first suspects will be us. When the school investigates, we won't be able to escape punishment. We have to think before we do things. Jong Duopan wasn't stupid. He directly rejected Fan Ganhe's suggestion. Bai Weituo is a freshman. He just came to the school. If there's a conflict, it's with us. Do you think everyone else is stupid? Fan Ganhe really couldn't think of any other way to win the competition. Don't think about the competition. A loss is a loss. Jong Duopan had already accepted it and didn't want to think about it anymore. An afternoon of rehearsal passed just like that, and at night, Cheng Yi asked Xu Shahan to go shopping. It was the first time for both of them to come to East Ocean City, and they hadn't shopped in East Ocean City yet. Xu Shahan didn't want to go. After all, something terrible had just happened. However, she didn't want to tell Cheng Yi, so she hesitated and decided to ask Lin Yi. When Lin Yi received Xu Shahan's call, he had just sent Han Jingjing and Han Xiaochao back and entered the villa with Miss and Xu. Miss Xu, what's the matter? Lin Yi saw that it was Xu Shahan's call and picked it up. How many times have I told you, call me Xiao Han or Xu Shahan? Isn't calling me Miss Xu too distant? Xu Shahan didn't like the way Lin Yi addressed her. Ah, okay, Xiao Han, Lin Yi said. Cheng Yi wants to go shopping with me, but that thing happened on the highway. I'm a bit worried. Xu Shahan said, I don't really want to go, but I don't want her to be a wet blanket. Oh, then I'll go with you guys. Wait for 10 minutes, Feng Sanhuang will be here. He'll rent a business car and we'll go together, Lin Yi said. Ah, Feng brother is coming too? Xu Shahan was startled. She didn't know why Lin Yi called Feng Sanhuang, but Lin Yi took Feng Sanhuang's phone number before, so it must be Lin Yi who called Feng Sanhuang. Ian, we'll go together later. Lin Yi couldn't reject Xu Shahan's request. After all, he was the one who invited Xu Shahan. Not only was he the host, but he also didn't spend a single cent of his appearance fee, so it was a bit unreasonable if he didn't act as a temporary bodyguard. Ian, okay, we'll wait for you at the hotel, Xu Shahan said. Go shopping. Go shopping. I want to go too. Yushu eavesdropped on Lin Yi's phone call. Is it with Xiao Han sis? Can we go? The miss was also a bit tempted. Forget it this time, let's talk about it next time, I'll go with you guys alone. It was the first time Lin Yi rejected the miss and Shu's request. He briefly told them about what happened on the highway earlier in the afternoon. Ah, that's scary. Meng Yaro and Yushu's faces changed. So I'm afraid that there will be danger at night. If you guys go, I'm afraid that I won't be able to protect you. Lin Yi said, these people are obviously coming for Xu Shahan. Ian, then we won't go. Lin Yi, be careful. Meng Yaro naturally wouldn't pester him anymore. Xiao Han sis is your guest, don't let her get hurt. Ancient House Feng. A middle-aged woman with a gloomy face sat in front of Feng Tianhu. Although this woman was old, she was still attractive. There was an indescribable noble aura around her. Her identity was obviously not ordinary, but her face was very ugly at the moment. Tianhu, Sanlei is dead. You know, he is the most powerful master in my hands. The strength I have is limited. Your second brother is always on guard against me. I have no way to control the other masters, but the only master is actually dead. The middle-aged woman said bitterly. This second sister-in-law, that little girl has a master in Donghai City. I really didn't expect this. Feng Tianhu smiled bitterly. Chmph, what do we do now? If your second brother comes after me, what should I do? The middle-aged woman obviously didn't have much of an idea. She was the kind of person who was impulsive and reckless. This didn't match her noble appearance at all, and now Sanhuang has gone to Donghai City. In reality, she didn't have any ulterior motives. She was a rich young mistress. Marrying into House Feng was just a marriage alliance. Haha, actually, you don't have to worry. Once Xu Shahan is dead, there will be no evidence. I think second brother won't pursue it anymore, Feng Tianhu said faintly. Oh, so you already have a backup plan? The middle-aged woman asked. That's right. I've already sent Feng Erbying. Even if Sanhuang goes, it'll be a waste. It'll only take a few minutes to kill him, Feng Tianhu said indifferently. Feng Erbying? Earth-class mid-phase? You can use a second-generation disciple of House Feng? The middle-aged woman widened her eyes in disbelief. Haha, who doesn't have a trump card? Not only me, second brother probably has one too. Feng Tianhu sighed. If it wasn't to help you this time, I wouldn't want to reveal my trump card so early. You have to keep it a secret for me. Chapter 1982. That's not a problem. The middle-aged woman didn't even think about it. In her eyes, fighting in the family wasn't important. Killing Feng Tianlin's mistress and little bastard was the most important thing. One had to say that Feng Tianlin's failure was marrying such a brainless and unruly woman. Although he had the support of her family, she didn't help him wholeheartedly and kept creating trouble for him. For someone like Feng Tianlin, who was the heir of an ancient house, who didn't have multiple wives and concubines. But his first love's flesh and blood had to be sneaky, and he couldn't even see her. This made Feng Tianlin very frustrated. He was a little envious of his big brother's choice back then. He didn't care about anything and just ran away from the marriage and married a woman from the common world, cutting off all ties with the ancient House Feng. He, on the other hand, didn't want to disappoint his father, and for his big brother's safety, he married this woman who was supposed to be his big brother's fiancée. What Feng Tianlin didn't expect was that this woman was really unruly, willful, and jealous. He didn't know where she got the news that he had a mistress and a daughter outside, but she actually brought people to kill him. His wife was nowhere to be found, and his daughter was only found many years later after much effort. Feng Tianlin hated his wife to the core. Although she was his wife, he didn't have any feelings for her. He still loved his first love, Xu Shahan's mother. Feng Tianlin knew that his wife had gone to kill him, but he didn't do anything. Instead, he chose to endure it, because he knew that this was most likely caused by his third brother, Feng Tianhu. Feng Tianhu had always coveted the position of the young master. Otherwise, it would be impossible for such detailed information to be known by only a few close brothers. However, as Feng Tianhu's son, Feng Nitian, gradually revealed his talent, the old man placed more and more importance on Feng Tianhu. Feng Tianhu's power in House Feng was also growing, and this made Feng Tianlin even more cautious. He could only continue to endure until the day he truly controlled House Feng. At that time, he wouldn't be afraid of anyone anymore. Considering the many years of marriage and the face of their son, Feng Tianlin wouldn't do anything to his wife, but he definitely wouldn't force a smile to serve her every day like now. The first thing Feng Tianlin had to do after he became the head of the family was to bring his daughter back and announce to the public that she was his daughter. Moreover, he would find his older brother and bring him back to the Feng family. Although his older brother had been kicked out of the family by his father, a new ruler brought his own ministers. His father was the head of the family, and now, he, Feng Tianlin, was the head of the family. Feng Tianlin's relationship with his older brother was the best. Although they didn't share the same mother, they were closer than real brothers. This was also one of the important reasons why Feng Tianlin married his current wife in place of his older brother. If he didn't marry her, his father would blame his eldest brother even more and might even kill him. And this was what Feng Tianhu hoped for. He hoped that this marriage would be broken, and that his father would kill his older brother while his second brother would plead for mercy. This way, both of them would lose trust and both of them would be finished. His third brother would naturally take over. So, for his older brother, in order to prevent his third brother's plan from succeeding, Feng Tianlin gritted his teeth and persevered for so many years. However, Feng Tianhu, because of his son, Feng Nitian, seemed to be on the same level as him. This made Feng Tianlin's life more and more difficult. But not long ago, Feng Tianlin received a great news. Feng Tianhu's son, Feng Tianhu, was acting tough during the Ice Palace's test. He used his title of strongest below Earth class and was beaten into a cripple by an even stronger strongest below Earth class. Feng Tianlin knew that his chance had come again. Although to Hao's Feng Nitian's death wasn't a good thing, to Feng Tianlin, it was a good thing. However, Feng Tianlin didn't know that his wife was working with Feng Tianhu to deal with Xu Shahan. So, when Feng Tianlin received Feng Sanhuang's call, he was shocked. What did you say? Someone was on the airport highway, trying to deal with Shahan? Feng Tianlin panicked. Yes, master, but Miss Xu's friend took care of it. It's a mystic late phase peak master. Sanhuang told Feng Tianlin everything that had happened. What? Mystic late phase peak? Feng Tianlin was even more shocked. This was the first time that Xu Shahan was attacked by such a powerful cultivator. Although there were kidnappings and robberies in the past, those were only done by some small gangs. This time, it was obviously not that simple. Plus, these men in black chose to commit suicide in such a cruel way after they failed. They obviously didn't want to expose their identity. Who sent them? Could it be his wife? Or his third brother? Thinking of this, Feng Tianlin's heart skipped a beat. Xu Shahan's identity was a secret. Although he found Xu Shahan, he never acknowledged her. How did his wife and brother know about it? Do you know who did it? Feng Tianlin asked. I'm not sure yet. I just arrived at Donghai City. I heard that the bodies were taken away by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I need to find someone I know. I don't know if they can see it. Feng Sanhuang said. Although the ancient noble houses had absolute power, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau might not give them face. It was a complicated organization. If there's no other way, forget it. Feng Tianlin wanted to say something but shook his head. In this situation, he couldn't contact that person before he had a firm foothold. If he did, it would be against the family rules. Feng Tianhu would be looking for trouble. Okay, master, I'll try my best. Feng Sanhuang said. When Lin Yi arrived at the hotel, Feng Sanhuang was there as well. He was driving a big GL8. Seeing Lin Yi, Feng Sanhuang jumped out. Brother Lin, thank you for today. Feng Sanhuang actually bowed to Lin Yi this time. Lin Yi paused. He felt that Sanhuang's words had exceeded a normal bodyguard's. Even if he was Xu Shahan's bodyguard, he didn't need to go through all this formalities. Mr. Feng, Lil Han came to my place, and it's my duty to protect her. There's no need to thank me, but I see that you seem to care a lot about Xu Shahan. You like her. Chapter 1983. Tilda. Book Ocean Pavilion Chapter 1995, being followed Fut. Sanhuang's heart skipped a beat when he heard the first half of the sentence, but the second half made him choke. I was actually asked by someone to protect Miss Xu, but it's a secret kind of protection that Miss Xu doesn't know about. In Miss Xu's eyes, I'm just a normal chauffeur and bodyguard, not a practitioner, so please keep it a secret, Brother Lin. Sanhuang's heart skipped a beat when he heard the second half. Oh, I get it, you're the celebrity's bodyguard. Lin Yi wasn't surprised at all after hearing Sanhuang's words, because he was the school beauty's bodyguard. It was just that the nature of his job was different from Sanhuang's. Lin Yi was in the light, and Sanhuang was in the dark. You can say that. Sanhuang saw that Lin Yi wasn't surprised at all, and felt that Lin Yi wasn't a normal person. Brother Lin, if I may be so bold, your current strength, Earth class. Lin Yi didn't hide it, but he didn't say whether it was early, mid, or late stage Earth class. After all, Sanhuang and Lin Yi weren't that close, and Lin Yi didn't want to say too much. Hiss. San Huang took a deep breath. The last time he saw Lin Yi, he was still a peak mid-mystic class, and now he was an earth class? Thinking back to what Lin Yi had said to him, don't think that just because you're a peak late mystic class, you can talk big in front of me. Could it be that Lin Yi was an earth class back then, but he suppressed his strength to peak mid-mystic class, and not an earth class? If that was the case, then why did he shamelessly threaten Lin Yi? Feng Sanhuang blushed just thinking about it. No wonder Lin Yi wasn't afraid at all and directly threatened him back then. It turned out that he was suppressing his strength. Of course, Feng Sanhuang didn't think that Lin Yi could jump from mystic mid-phase peak to earth class in just a few months. That speed of leveling up was like riding a rocket. It would be amazing if he could break through a small class in just a few months. Brother Lin, I've offended you before. Miss Shu's safety will be in your hands later. Feng Sanhuang's attitude towards Lin Yi was even more respectful. Lin Yi waved his hand and didn't say anything else. Instead, he pointed in the direction of the hotel and said, "They're out. Let's not talk about this anymore." All right. Lin Yi's words were exactly what Feng Sanhuang wanted. Feng Sanhuang didn't want to discuss this in front of Xu Shahan. Xiaohan. Lin Yi greeted Xu Shahan. As for Cheng Yi, Lin Yi only nodded to her. But Cheng Yi didn't seem to mind. She didn't seem to like talking to Lin Yi. She pulled Xu Shahan and got in the MPV. Lin Yi sat in the front passenger seat, and Feng Sanhuang naturally became the driver. Although Feng Sanhuang wasn't familiar with the terrain of Donghai City, he was Xu Shahan's professional driver. He was very good at finding the way. He only needed to look at the GPS to know how to get there. He started the car and went straight to the busiest commercial street in Donghai City. On the way, Xu Shahan and Cheng Yi were discussing something. But Lin Yi wasn't interested in listening. It was mostly about how to make up, how to be beautiful, and how to have a good body. After a few turns, Feng Sanhuang arrived at the commercial street and parked the car in the parking lot nearby. I didn't expect Donghai City's commercial street to be so busy this late. Xu Shahan looked at the street outside the car window and said in surprise. Donghai City is a provincial city. Naturally, there are a lot of shops that are open 24 hours. Lin Yi said. Thank you, Lin Yi. It's so late, but you came out to shop with us. Sorry for disturbing your rest. Xu Shahan said gratefully. Cheng Yi frowned. It was a great honor for a normal person to be able to come out with a big star. Zhong Duopan wanted to come along, but she rejected him. Why was Xu Shahan begging Lin Yi? It's okay. Lin Yi and Feng Sanhuang walked behind Xu Shahan and Cheng Yi, as if they were their bodyguards. Xu Shahan probably didn't have many opportunities to go shopping. Everything she saw was new. Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. Although celebrities seemed to be famous, they didn't have much time. Every day, they just had to work and work. Cheng Yi, on the other hand, had a lot of knowledge about brands and shops. She was the one who brought Xu Shahan to shop. Feng Sanhuang, on the other hand, was very nervous. He was always on guard. His eyes kept looking around as if he was afraid of missing something. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry at his seriousness. I say, Sanhuang, you don't have to be like this, right? Relax a bit. Otherwise, I'm afraid that Xiaohan will be fine, but you'll be so nervous. Brother Lin, I have to kill the danger in the cradle. Feng Sanhuang smiled bitterly. I'm different from you. I have to ensure Miss Shu's safety. Especially after what happened today. It's okay. I'll watch for you. I'll tell you if there's any danger. Lin Yi said. Although Lin Yi said that, Feng Sanhuang saw that Lin Yi didn't seem to be on guard at all times. So, he didn't relax at all. From his point of view, Lin Yi was an outsider. No matter what, he wouldn't be very careful. He, Feng Sanhuang, was different. Lin Yi looked at Feng Sanhuang and shrugged. He didn't say anything. Along the way, the four of them went to most of the shops on the street. Shahan seemed to be especially addicted to shopping, including the shops that sold mobile cases, small accessories. She would go to all of them, even buying one or two small things before leaving reluctantly. This situation made Lin Yi sigh. Miss Shu's work is actually very busy. Book Ocean Pavilion. She's a very hardworking person. She hasn't followed any unspoken rules. Her current results are all from her own efforts. Although I've helped her along the way, it's also related to her own purity. If she wants to abandon herself to vice, I can't do anything about it. Feng Sanhuang saw Lin Yi sigh. He knew what Lin Yi was thinking. He explained. Plus, she used to have headaches that could act up at any time. That's why she didn't have the chance to go shopping. Luckily, you helped her, Lin Yi nodded. He didn't answer. He also felt that something was wrong. Lin Yi had been laughing at Sanhuang earlier, telling him not to be so careful, but now, he felt as if he was being followed and watched. It was a feeling that came from the sixth sense he had when he was doing missions in the Primeval Forest. Book C Pavilion, ~target =_ blank. Chapter 1984. Book C Pavilion. Because the jade didn't give any warning, it meant that either he was wrong, or the enemy was too far away, out of the jade's detection range. But Lin Yi was leaning towards the first possibility, because Lin Yi wouldn't be wrong about this feeling. Lin Yi took a deep breath, and started to be on high alert. But for the rest of the journey, this feeling was very faint, and the jade didn't give any warning. This feeling made Lin Yi very doubtful. Was there someone following him, or did they intend to harm him? After that, Lin Yi still couldn't find the person following him. Either this person was an absolute master, and could follow him from a distance, or he was too vigilant because of what happened during the day. There's beef noodles here too? Cheng Yi pointed at the signboard of an alley next to the pedestrian street. What, you like to eat this? Xu Shahan asked curiously. Yeah, I've liked to eat it since I was young. It's been a long time since I've had it. Cheng Yi said. No, I must go eat it today. Oh right, I forgot. Your hometown seems to have this kind of noodles. Xu Shahan nodded. Since we're here, let's go eat a bowl. Okay. Cheng Yi nodded and said excitedly. But the alley looks dirty, and there's no one around. Can we eat this? Xu Shahan walked 2 steps and looked at the dark alley full of trash. She was a little hesitant. It's okay, I used to eat it when I was young, Cheng Yi said. Okay, then let's go try. Xu Shahan hesitated and decided to accompany her. Seeing the two of them going into the alley, Lin Yi instinctively felt that something was wrong, but he didn't know how to stop them. While he was hesitating, Xu Shahan and Cheng Yi had already walked into the alley. Lin Yi had no choice but to follow with Feng Sanhuang. Feng Sanhuang's expression became more cautious and vigilant. He wanted to dissuade her. Xu Shahan Book C Pavilion. Why did they have to come to this kind of place? There were clearly a lot of snacks there, but they just had to eat noodles. However, this idea was suggested by Cheng Yi, and Feng Sanhuang wasn't her driver or bodyguard, so he couldn't say anything. The alleyway was very dark, there was no one and no light. There was a kind of eerie feeling. Xu Shahan was a little nervous. After all, this kind of eerie and dark scene reminded her of some bad memories. Xu Shahan subconsciously frowned and used both hands to press on her temples. Sister Han, what's wrong? Cheng Yi saw Xu Shahan's nervous face and quickly asked, Is your headache acting up again? Shahan nodded and quickly took out a bottle of Miracle Dr. Guan pain killer from her bag and poured it into the bottle. Medium. Cheng Yi rubbed Xu Shahan's temples and said with concern, Han sis, why don't we stop eating? Let's go back. Since you're here, let's go eat, don't spoil the mood. Xu Shahan forced a smile. It's fine, don't worry about me, but... Cheng Yi looked at Xu Shahan's frowning face, still a little worried. However, as the two were arguing, Lin Yi sneered, Since you're here, then come out, what's the point of hiding? Is this the behavior of an Earth-class mid-phase master? What? There's an enemy. Feng Sanhuang heard Lin Yi's words and jumped. Xu Shahan and Cheng Yi were shocked as well. 2 men in black came out from the darkness in front of the alleyway, but their faces were still covered with black masks, so people couldn't see their faces clearly. You're not simple. You can actually sense my presence, and you can even say my strength. Friend, which path are you on? I advise you not to get involved in this mess. It's none of your business here. One of the men in black was obviously afraid of Lin Yi, which was why he said these words. Of course, he was planning to ambush Lin Yi, but Lin Yi was able to see through his whereabouts. He was quite angry at Lin Yi, but he had other important things to do today, and he couldn't see through Lin Yi's strength, so he didn't want to cause more trouble. Moreover, he naturally wouldn't think that Lin Yi was tricking him to come out. After all, if Lin Yi could say his strength, it meant that he had already been discovered. In actuality, Lin Yi really didn't find any traces of this Earth-class mid-phase black-clothed man. It was through the jade that he found the movements of the other black-clothed man, a mystic late-phase peak master. Through this person, Lin Yi caught a faint trace of energy beside him, and that was how he found the black-clothed man. Why would I stand here if it's none of my business? Lin Yi looked at the man in black like he was looking at an idiot. If it's none of my business, why would I find your traces and say your strength? Do you think I have nothing better to do? You go deal with Shu Shahan, I'll take care of this. The Earth-class man's face turned cold, and he ordered the mystic next to him. Yes. The black-clothed man nodded and flew towards Shahan, throwing a punch at her. Obviously, he wanted to kill Shahan with one punch. Lin Yi had been observing the reactions of these two, and when he saw the movements of the black-clothed man, he sneered, and his side also started to move. He used a bit of force in his legs and flew towards the mystic next to Shu Shahan. In order to confuse the mystic in front of him, Lin Yi had been suppressing his strength, making it seem like he was only a mystic class mid-phase peak. The purpose of this was to kill the mystic class late-phase peak in one hit, and then he could focus on dealing with the Earth-class mid-phase master. Lin Yi didn't have the slightest confidence in winning against someone 2 levels higher than him, and he was a bit nervous, so he had to kill all the uncertain factors in the cradle. Although Lin Yi wasn't afraid of this mystic late-phase peak, with him here, if Feng Sanhuang couldn't stop him and allowed him to attack Shu Shahan, then Lin Yi would have to send a clone over to save her. He didn't have the confidence to win in the first place, and if that happened, then there would be even less of a chance. Although Lin Yi had fought many Earth-class masters before, Boss Yu had just entered the Earth-class and hadn't learned any martial arts yet, so Lin Yi was able to intimidate him when he was still a mystic, and the follower of Right Coiling Tiger, Lin Yi was having trouble dealing with him. If it wasn't for the Chi Bomb, Lin Yi wouldn't have been able to deal with him so easily. Book Ocean Pavilion, _target =_.